get you, Barbara.
When there's no more room in hell.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live Saturday night, a rainy Saturday night here, stormy Saturday night here in Indiana. So, what's going on, everybody? Gonna do something fun tonight. I did something similar to this a couple of months ago, called movies that are classic horror films that everybody loves, except me. I put myself out there to take the heat, to take the beating by naming some classic horror films that everybody loves that maybe I don't. And so tonight I'm going to reverse the situation here. We're going to talk about some horror films that everybody hates except me. I don't hate these movies. Actually, some of them I quite like. So I'm here, I'm ready to turn heel, I'm ready to take some heat. Slings and arrows, whatever you got, bring it my way. And we're going to talk about some funky ass movies tonight, just kind of to deviate a little bit away from the Romero stuff. But we got plenty of Romero stuff to talk about too. I got something really cool in the mail the other day that I want to show you guys. Going to be doing that. Also, we're going to take a look at a lot of book news. There's a lot of book news coming out here recently in the world of Romero. Of course, the behind the scenes of Night of the Living Dead official book, whatever you want to call it, from Image 10. There's a big announcement about that happened over the past couple of weeks. I was going to talk about it last week on last week's show, but just kind of forgot about it. Just forgot to mention it. So much going on, but definitely want to cover that. Definitely want to talk about that because it's a pretty big announcement. Some pretty cool happenings going on for a pretty badass book that I'm really looking forward to. And also another book announcement pertaining to Night of the Living Dead that just dropped earlier this week for a book that I've been wanting to get my hands on for a while, but I guess it's been out of print for a little bit now. And but they're reissuing it, and I think they're going to add some new stuff to it. And we'll talk about that as well. So there's definitely plenty of Romero stuff to talk about as well. But I thought let's have a little fun tonight. I got some pretty cool stuff in the works over the next month and a half or so. Some pretty cool guests that I'm trying to get on. Some interviews that I'm working on trying to secure. Stay tuned. But how's everybody doing out there? It's a Saturday night. Like I said, it's a stormy, rainy Saturday night here in Evansville. And so, yeah, it's a nice night to just kind of hang out and talk. I was going to say talk some Romero. We're going to talk some Romero, but we're definitely going to talk some shitty movies that you guys can tell me how bad they suck and how stupid I am for not hating them as much as everybody else. Let's see. We got in the house here tonight. I saw our boys at the Revival House just became a YouTube member to the channel. Yes, memberships are now available on the channel. If you want to get access to some extra content, some special members only content, some behind the scenes stuff. Also got the Alpha Romero Discord that we just started up last week. That's been really, really fun. We've got quite a few people on there already. So yeah, if you're interested, check it out. Become a member. If not, don't worry about it. It's cool. I always appreciate you guys hanging out here for my live streams, watching the videos and all that good stuff. But easiest way that you can support the channel is just hitting that thumbs up button. And that seems to do something with the algorithm. I don't know, but it helps. So don't forget. But yeah, appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Looney Bin. Welcome to the Monkey Farm Revival House. You guys have been here already, but I appreciate the support, guys. Stukas, my boy Grant's in the house. First to comment. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope school's going well for you, man. Hope you got you're getting ready to get that diploma or degree. Or have we talked about what you? I think I've asked you before what you were going to school for. But yeah. Good luck, man. And knock it out of there and kick some ass. We're in your corner. Man. I've got Bonnie in the house. Bonnie Bailey. What's going on, Bonnie? Good evening, Bonnie. Hope you're doing well. We're up in Chicago. Got Stezio in the house. What's going on, Stezio? Guess you're a Karen tonight. You can be a Karen or a Harry if you want. If you'd rather be a Harry, you can always be a Harry or a Karen or a Helen, whichever one. Doesn't matter to me, but nothing wrong with being a cellar dweller. It is the safest place. The cellar is the safest place. Don't let anybody tell you any different. But if you like to live a little dangerously, there is the Ritz. There is the Ritz, my man. But always appreciate it, man. Good to see you in here. Got Phil. What's going on, brother? Phil the Dead, third. Why not? Nothing wrong with being third. Nothing wrong with being third. That's a bronze medal. Nothing wrong with bronze. But hey, it was good. It was good. I don't think I've talked to you since then, but it was good seeing you at Living Dead weekend, man, and getting to actually meet in person. You seem like a pretty cool fucking guy. So I appreciate it. Appreciated meeting you, and I'm glad that you're able to come. Hope you had a good time. Hope you got to meet everybody you wanted to meet, get all the shit you wanted to get signed. So hell yeah, good to see you, man. And of course, floppy fourths. I've heard of sloppy seconds. This is the first time I've ever actually heard of floppy fourths. But what's going on, brother? Ed Baggett's in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you in here. Just had very cool. J-Day 636. What's going on, brother? Gifted 5 Alpha Romero memberships. Who are the 5? Who are the lucky 5 here? I'm gonna have to pull out my phone and take a look. Thank you very much for that, man. That's very, very cool of you. One of our channel members here. Spreading the love. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna see who all got the memberships. I can't see it on my end here on StreamYard, but let me pull it up here, and it'll actually tell me if I look on if I actually look on YouTube. I don't know. Does it tell me? Oh, here we go. All right. Who are our I think I have 5 to give away too, so I might give away 5 more later. Just so you guys can get a taste. Get a taste, see what it's all about. So we got Dan Fair. What's up, Dan? Welcome to the Ritz. Bonnie Bailey, now a member. Welcome, Bonnie. We got Fat Pig the Conqueror is now a member of the channel. 75J Wingo. That's a new name, but welcome. Welcome to the channel, the channel membership. And BKNY in 1982 is now a member of the Alpha Romero channel. So hell yeah, welcome, guys. Welcome. Hang out. I think if you gift, it's I don't know, is it the Ritz, or there's 2 tiers. There's the $2 tier, which is basically, you get access to the Alpha Romero channel or the Discord channel, which I did post for members a video on how to connect your if you're on Discord already, you can connect your Discord to your YouTube, and it'll be there available for you to you can come join and talk and bullshit with the rest of us. Me, Matt, Michelle, Will, Larry, Vulo, always on there. Paul, Synth, the whole crew is on there. The Revival House guys, everybody's on there. So yeah, come on over, hang out on the Discord channel, and you get early access to the newest videos 24 hours before they drop publicly. And then yeah, like I said, for the Ritz members, you get members only live streams and members only videos that only the VIPs get to take in. I have some pretty cool ideas for some stuff that I want to do in the future. So yeah, I think it's I didn't want to do a membership unless I had some ideas and some shit I wanted to do to give back and make it worth the while. So yeah, hang in there, and we're on a journey here. We're gonna figure this out. But hell yeah, J-Day, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Let me see, where was I at here in the chat? Let me say hi to everybody. Yeah, this will be fun for you guys. I don't know how fun it'll be for me when I start pulling out some of these titles and you guys start telling me I'm a fucking idiot. But that's what I'm here for. Let it out. Bring it. Give it to me. Let me hear it. Horror Rock dude, Frankie, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Got Paul Brooks in the house. What's going on, brother? What's up, y'all? Alpha, it's totally fine if you love Day of the Dead, Contagion. We're all with you. That is not on the list tonight. Believe it or not, that is not on my list tonight. So you don't have to worry about that. I have actually never watched that movie. I think I watched like the first 15 minutes of it one time, and then that was about all I could fucking stomach. And then I was out of there. So that's not on the list. Don't worry. Fat Pig the Conqueror, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Blake Allen, what's going on, man? It's been a while. Glad to be here again for a live. Glad to have you, man. Always good to have you in the chat. Phil of the Dead saying the Image 10 panel at Living Dead Weekend was great, but I had to walk away because I did not need to be spoiled on what's in it. Looks deep. Yeah, I think we were on the tour or something was going on when Jim was up there showing off the book a little bit. And I've seen a little bit of that Night of the Living Dead book from what Vulo has showed me. It looks pretty fucking amazing. And I mean, if anybody were to do the definitive Night of the Living Dead book, it's Jim, Vulo, the guys at Image 10, Gary Striner. I mean, it's going to be pretty kick-ass stuff. So I can't wait. I can't wait for it. And the official like debut announcement for what they're planning on doing here within the, like in the next couple of weeks, I think it is. I can't remember the exact date, but it's going to be pretty badass. And I'm super proud of those guys for making it happen and getting it out there. Phil, we got here. Phil the Dead, new YouTube member. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Very, very cool. I will tell you guys one thing that I am planning on doing for a members only exclusive. The plan is to finally, because I've had people ask me this in the past, to finally do a full room tour of all my collectibles, all my collection. And just kind of go through. I don't know how long that's going to take. That might be a 2-hour fucking video of me just wandering around my room, pulling down shit and saying, hey, I got this and this. And so that'll be fun. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that. But the plan is a members only personalized room tour of the Romero room up here. So you can see all the junk that I've accumulated over the years. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. New member Dan Fair. What's going on, brother? Children of the Living Dead fan club. You know what? Children of the Living Dead, and this could be a whole other topic for movies that everybody hates that I actually kind of like. All the like Romero adjacent stuff. Like there are a lot of those movies that there's just a charm to them. I think it's the Pittsburgh aspect of them. I mean, the John Russo stuff, the Bill Heinzman stuff. Like, there is a certain charm to some of those movies, even though they're terrible fucking movies. They do have some charm that I do appreciate, and I don't quite understand it. So yeah, that may be. I mean, although we did a ranking show with Michelle and Paul a couple months ago, where we ranked not all of, but quite a few of the Romero adjacent films, and I made my case for certain ones. So you can go back and check that out if you're interested. My thoughts on Children of the Living Dead. But yeah, that's a funky fucking movie. Steven Ustrek Jr. Howdy campers, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Got another new member, Ed. Thank you very much, man. Very, very cool. Another new member, YouTube member. Thank you. This is very cool. Like I said, I didn't know. I didn't want to start doing the memberships until I knew that I had something in mind to kind of work on and give back and make it worth the price of admission. So I think you guys are going to really dig what I got planned. The other day, I actually did I'm going to start doing these anytime I get anything in the mail, collectible, Romero related or whatever, just doing a live opening of it and really looking at it. Or not live, but recorded. You know, one of those. Maybe I'll do it live. I don't know. Anyway. But thanks, man. I appreciate it. And like I said, man, get on that Discord. It's a pretty cool happening fucking place over there. That's where you can really, if you're a real Romero nerd, you can really nerd the fuck out over there. There's even a specific channel on the Discord that's called the Secret Stash that has a lot of the stuff I can't post here on YouTube because they'll take it down or I'll get a strike or whatever. But I put it over there, like, you know, some movies and some stuff that you're not supposed to see, but it's the Alfa Romero Secret Stash. So go check that out too. Got John Goris 73. Watched Suicide Kings from the 90s. Had Christopher Walken. It was good. Never seen that, man. Never seen it, but I love Christopher Walken. So that might be one that might be on the list to check out sometime down the road. But good to see you. That's a new name. Good to see you, man. Jeff Down is up. Evening. Hope everyone. I hope everyone's enjoying their Saturday night. So far, so good, man. So far, so good. I'm actually on call for work. So if you catch me checking my phone every now and then, it's me making sure that, you know, shit's not on fire or there's no flooding or something going on. Because that's the thing, when it's storming out, like for my job, I work vending and break room markets, shit like that. So when it storms, like could knock out internet or anything could fucking happen. So I'll just keep an eye on that. But we're good here. We're good now, baby. We're good. We're good to rock and roll right now. But good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Let's get up to the roof. You know, I don't want to say anything, Jeff, but you'd have been there Living Dead weekend. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, look, I want to get up on the roof of that mall. One way or the fucking other, I'm gonna get up on the roof of that mall before that fucker closes, or even when it is closed. I'll just bring a ladder and just get up there just to say I did it. And if you want to come along, you're more than welcome. But yeah, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. J Day's the man. He's over on the Discord as well. So come hang out with him. We got Mardi Gras W, Mardi Gras, Mardi Gras. 3-man cast from Dawn of the Dead, Days of the Dead, Indy next weekend. That is right, and I am thinking very, very seriously about making the trip that Saturday, next Saturday, because I also know Norman England is going to be there as well, and I'd really, really like to meet Norman and just kind of meet him, shake his hand, thank him. Just never met Norman England in person, and he lives in Japan. So this might be one of the only times I'll have the opportunity to meet him. But yeah, the original 3 cast from Dawn of the Dead will be at Days of the Dead Indy next weekend. They also have a Dawn of the Dead panel on Saturday that I want to try to be there for. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'd really like to go, but we'll see when the time comes. It's not a bad drive. It's about a 2.5 hour drive for me. So yeah, I'm gonna try to make that happen for sure. Also, I saw that Murderers Row is going to be there, baby. Eugene Clark, Big Daddy, and John Russo are going to be there. So that would be cool. Just I would actually just like to talk to John Russo. So that might be in the cards as well. Let's see. Bonnie, yep. Thank you for the membership. Hell yeah. Welcome aboard, Bonnie. Blake missed the gift, unfortunately. Well, I think I can gift 5 more memberships as well. I think I can. So maybe I'll do that. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't know. How did I do that last week? I gifted 5 last week. But now I don't remember how the hell I did it. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. I don't know. I don't know. I'll play with it. I'll look here and see if it'll let me do anything like that. Nice. No, I can send a super chat to myself. I don't want to do that. That would be kind of pointless. I don't know. I'll take a look. I'll see if I can figure it out. I did it very, very easily last week, but yeah, I don't know. I'll see. I'll see what I can do for you guys here in a little bit. Will's in the house. What's going on, man? Possibly gonna make it if we do end up in Indianapolis next week. Hopefully will be with me. But if not, I understand. But good to see you, man. It says you don't do sloppies. Well, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, man. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Jeff saying of that screen name, Night of the or love that screen name, Night of the Living Will. Will's a big night guy, big Night of the Living Dead guy. Phil says I hesitated on a photo session with Ken, even dressed like Leisure Steven, and the cost was literally what was left in my bank account. Well, don't go broke doing it, but it is pretty fucking cool. I really like. I didn't get a chance to do the bank photo up with Ken, but that's one of those that I'll look back on and be like, God, why didn't I do that? I should have done that. Yeah. So Ritz memberships for you guys, very, very cool. So yes, stay tuned. Thanks for doing that, man. Appreciate it. Arturitas, trucker cosplay or Chicago Bears fan cosplay night. Yes, no, it's just but that's a good call though. Trucker hat and the fucking the Ditka mustache. I can dig that. I can dig, but don't ever fucking call me a Chicago Bears fan. Those are fighting words, sir. Those are fighting words. I'll take the trucker. I'll take trucker all day long. But Chicago Bears fan, no, no, sir. No, sir. Not here. Not here. But thanks for joining. Okay. Paul, speak for yourself. I don't remember what Paul's comment was here. Did I miss it? Oh, Day of the Dead Contagion. Yeah. Okay. I get it now. I'm with you, Steven. I'm with you on this one. I wouldn't be in on that. Landrum, what's going on, brother? Popping in for a few. If you cover Phantasm Ravager, please give it some love. That might be on the list. That might be on the docket tonight. Phantasm Ravager. That was one that I avoided for so long because everybody was just saying how horrible it was. But when I finally watched it, how did I feel about it? We'll see. We'll see. Good to see you, man. Blake says, going to see Evil Dead Burn tomorrow. Hope I won't be disappointed. I don't have any interest in seeing that. I haven't seen the previous one, Evil Dead Rise, and I watched the original Evil Dead remake for for a Revival House episode we did about a month or so ago for one of the Rue Morgue live streams. I wasn't for me. It just ain't for me. Like I love the original trilogy, the remakes. I don't know. Just never had any interest. And after I watched the Evil Dead remake, I was like, yeah, ain't for me. Ain't for me. But I hope you enjoy it, man. I hope it's cool. I've seen some pretty good reviews for it. So let us know. Let us know how it goes. Stizio's going to tomorrow afternoon. Sure you'll like it. I hope so. Let me know, guys. John Goris says Pot Zombies is a guilty pleasure. Trauma put it out. I don't know if I've seen Pot Zombies. I've seen Redneck Zombies, Hard Rock Zombies. Have you guys seen Hard Rock Zombies? That's a fun, shitty zombie movie. And I have a shitty zombie movie here to talk about tonight. It's one of my guilty pleasures. But Hard Rock Zombies, that's a good one. That's right. Live on tape. Right. Live on tape. That's right. No worries, man. No worries, man. Glad to have you. Larry's in the house. What's going on, Larry? And Larry, hope you're doing well, man. Larry was in a looked like a pretty rough car accident the other day. So I hope you're feeling better, man. I hope you're doing okay. You and your wife and your daughter. You guys are all healing and doing okay. Because that looked like a pretty rough fucking accident. So hated to see that, but I'm so glad you guys are okay. But man, I got to tell you, man, those near death experiences, man, that like they'll stick with you. And yeah, life is precious. I'll just say that. Like I've had a few of those. One I'll like tell you, like, because it kind of sounds pretty similar to what you were saying your situation was. Just where a car was coming in the wrong lane head on, and luckily my cousin was swift enough to fucking maneuver that shit around like Schwarzenegger or something, like an action hero, and really save all of our lives. But I still think about that all the time. And you're just like, we were a second away from that being it. So yeah, I'm just really lucky. Glad you guys are doing okay. But the fact that you guys weren't seriously hurt says a lot about how safe that vehicle was, that RAV4, which I love. That was a beautiful fucking vehicle that your wife had. I remember commenting about that to Will when we were in Pittsburgh. When she pulled up, I was like, man, that's a nice fucking car. So I hated to see that, but just glad you guys are okay. Matt just got the Martin one sheet in. Check it out on the Discord. I am pretty jealous about that because I've been looking for one of those for a while and I can't believe I missed it. So hell of a score, man. Hell of a score. One of these days I'll get my hands on one, but I got something pretty cool Martin related as well that I'm looking forward to showing you guys. So, but yeah, go check that out. I guess he just posted it over on the Discord. So, very cool, man. Blake says my guilty pleasure is John Russo's Midnight. I like it. The theme song is an unconscionable earworm. That's a tough word for my redneck ass to be saying. My trucker Chicago Bears fan ass to be saying. Yeah, I like Midnight too. I can't lie. I'm a for one, I'm a John Russo apologist. I wouldn't say I'm an apologist, but like I said, there's just a charm to his movies that I just appreciate. But I would say Midnight is probably his best out of his entire work, in my opinion, because it's the one that actually kind of makes sense, and there's actually some redeeming quality. And the theme song, yeah, you're on your own, you're all alone, and midnight's at your door. Yeah, that'll get stuck. That'll get stuck in your head. It's good shit. Acres of Movies. What's going on, Acres of Movies? I like the movie Children of the Corn 3. Do you? Thanks from Stacy. Well, thank you, Stacy. I don't think I've ever seen Children of the Corn 3. And if I have, it was when I was a little kid. Because I remember watching Children of the Corn, various Children of the Corn movies when I was a kid. But I don't think I've actually sat and watched an entire Children of the Corn movie since then, since I was a kid. So, yeah, just never really was my thing. But yeah, I don't know. Is that one of those movies that like everybody kind of shits on, but you're kind of alone on? That's what I want to hear in the chat too tonight, guys. What are some movies that everybody else hates, but you will go to bat for one reason or another? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Larry says, I know a secret. Norman England is coming to Living Dead Weekend in October with a contingent of Japanese Romero fans. Interesting. Well, see, I remember Norman saying something about wanting to come back to the mall one last time, sometime in either the fall or the winter, because that's prime Dawn of the Dead time. I mean, that's when the film was made in the late fall and the winter of 77, 78. So if that's the case, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That'd be really cool for him to be back at the mall, because I don't think he's been back there in quite some time. But very cool. John Goris, anyone see Romero's second film? There's Always Vanilla. I may have seen it a time or two. It seems to deal with Moloch worship, something Don touched base with later. Not familiar with that one, but I'll look it up. I'll look that up. Moloch worship. How do you pronounce that? I've never heard that word before. But yeah, I love There's Always Vanilla. I'm one of those like real weirdos that really digs There's Always Vanilla. But I don't know what kind of worship you're talking about there. Interesting. Is this some weird conspiracy theory about like devil worship or something? Ray Lane is actually a Satanist in disguise. King of Sanity 3447. What's going on, King of Sanity? My buddy put birdseed on his junk and stuck it in a birdhouse. Nice. I've never thought about doing that before, but sounds pretty riveting. Pretty I don't know. Exciting. I don't know, but tell your buddy. Hope his junk is okay. That's all I can say about that. But thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing that little bit of news. Needed to know that. Synth's in the house. What's going on, Synth? Hey, y'all, was out streaming local art/wine festival. Not great, but something to do. Very classy of you, Synth. Appreciate you're always you always got some kind of streaming going on from somewhere. It's always kind of interesting to pop in when I see you're live, just to kind of see like where you're at and what you're up to. So very cool, man. What's going on, brother? Mardi Gras saying, is there any truth that once you hit 25 members, we can win that ice skating bag behind you? No, maybe not that, but maybe not that one. But you know what? That's not a bad idea. Once I hit a certain number of members, maybe doing some kind of giveaway or something like that. Yeah, I'll think about that. It's not a bad idea, Marty Gras. But the bag stays with me unless you want to come try and pry it from my cold dead fingers, sir. So, people are saying it's really brutal. I guess you're talking about the new Evil Dead movie. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Let me know. Let me know how it was. Because, like I said, I just didn't. I don't know, man. I just doesn't seem like my kind of thing, especially after seeing the remake, which I think the previous film and then this film are not based really off of the original trilogy. Um, but I don't know. You guys know me. I'm an old curmudgeon. Um, if it's made after 1990, I'm like, no. Steven's saying Evil Dead Rise was pretty gory. The setup is a little modern day, but overall worth a watch, in my opinion. Okay, all right. Hey, I'll tell you what, man. If those boys at the over on the Revival House, if I have to do a live stream where we got to cover that, which that seems to be the only way that they're the only guys that can get me to watch some of the modern stuff if we're covering it in one of the Rue Morgue issues or something like that. So maybe if we come upon an issue that covers Evil Dead Rise, I guess I'll have to do my due diligence and check it out. So, Larry, it was a crazy accident, a massive impact we were managing. Yeah, it looked like a pretty rough impact. Now, wasn't there like a semi that flipped over as well? It looked pretty fucking rough, man. But yeah, glad you guys are okay. Oh, Margaret was driving. She's a goodwill woman. Goodwill man. It's good to have somebody like that behind the wheel. Acres of Movies, would you play Dr. Chalice in Halloween 3 prequel or legacy cool? Is that a word? A legacy cool. I've never heard that term before. Would I play Dr. Chalice? Hell yeah. I mean, I would never be able to fill the shoes of the great Tom Atkins, but I'll try. Hey, honey, grab your six pack and you know head to the Silver Shamrock fucking factory. I could do that. I love Halloween 3. That would be one that would have been on my list like 10 years ago. Because that was still one when I first watched it. That was another one that I avoided for a long time. But when I finally did watch it, I was like, man, this is fucking cool. Like, why is everybody up in a fucking hissy about? Like, what's the big deal? Like, yeah, Michael Myers isn't in it. So what? Like, it's a pretty damn cool movie. But I think everybody's kind of caught up to that at this point. Like, it's a pretty popular Halloween sequel now. So I don't have it on my list tonight because I feel like everybody kind of digs that movie now. But yeah, that would have been one that would have been on my list probably 10 years ago, though. I've been like, dude, why? Why does everybody hate this movie? Yeah, there you go. I like that. John Russo survivor, not apologist. Hell yeah. I'm a Russo survivor, man. Um, that's impressive. I'm glad I feel impressive. Um, First Children of the Corn was enough for me, missed the others. Yeah, I remember that's the one I remember the most about. It's got like Linda Hamilton in it, and the opening scene. I remember the opening scene because that was pretty brutal in the diner. Um, but yeah, outside of that, man, it just never really was my thing. Um, oh, dude, growing up in Arkansas, you lived with Children of the Corn. Indiana, man, Indiana is that. This is fucking Children of the Corn. This is where they would be because it's nothing but cornfields here in Indiana. Um, yeah, so that's where does that movie even take place? I don't even remember where that movie takes place. Acres, do I like Strange Behavior, aka Dead Kids 1981? Never seen it. Never seen it. Um, do you like Strange Behavior, aka Dead Kids 1981? Never even heard of that actually. Look at Acres. Stacy pulling out the deep cuts tonight. I dig it. I dig it. Moloch, I think. Moloch. All right. I'll have to look into that. Pupil. What's going on, Pupil? Hostel 2006, as well as Eli Roth's other movies, always entertaining. I'm not with you on that one. I'm not with you on that one. I've tried to give Eli Roth a chance. I've never liked any of his movies. I hate all of his characters. They're the most unlikable, annoying fucking characters out there. It's his movies just never done anything for me. I haven't seen Thanksgiving though, which people seem to kind of like, but I'm not really a big slasher guy either. So yeah, yeah. But hey, more power to you. More power to you. Bet Pig the Conqueror. It's the thing they worshipped at that Bohemian Grove place, I think. Interesting. Hold on. Moloch was the god of baby sacrifice in the Old Testament days. You know, we are getting into some real like conspiracy theory shit here, and I'm so here for it. I was totally ready to touch on some conspiracy theories tonight because one of the movies I'm going to talk about and defend, wholeheartedly defend tonight, is all about fucking conspiracy theories. But this is an interesting one, and you think there's some connection with There's Always Vanilla to this with the baby sacrifice because of the I guess the abortion angle, and There's Always Vanilla. I mean, it is kind of the abortion scene. I mean, it's supposed to be like a back alley abortion. It's supposed to be seedy and weird, but it is like the only part in There's Always Vanilla that is kind of a horror film. Um, that's an interesting take. That's an interesting take. I'll think about that next time my Wi-Fi. I'll look into that. Because I do kind of, I like conspiracy theories. Like it's not, not that I believe all of them or anything like that, but I always find them kind of interesting. Really interesting how people kind of connect certain dots. It's kind of fun. I love like the old Art Bell stuff, and so yeah, okay, interesting take, and a little bit of that in Dawn of the Dead too, just because of the abortion stuff. I mean, to me, that's a reach a little bit. I mean, yeah, abortion was kind of a hot topic back in the 70s, So I don't think. I mean, I don't know unless you want to go into more detail about it. Um, I'm all ears. I'm all ears for it. You do have your moments of being cultured, Synth. You're a very cultured man. You're a very cultured man. Chalice was good at laying some pipe. Hell yeah, Tom Atkins, man. Can't beat Atkins. And yeah, one of the best things about it, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, is the score. Absolutely love that score. I play that every year for Halloween. That's a Halloween go-to. Will go to bat for Rob Zombie's Halloween. I might be going to bat for that as well tonight. One of them. Hey, new member, Landrum. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Landrum, new member here on the channel. Very cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Welcome to the party, pal. John Goris rewatched Emmanuel and the Last Cannibals the other day. Really fun and cruelty-free as far as critters are concerned. Never seen that one. But that is a rarity to see a cannibal movie that doesn't have a bunch of animal cruelty in it. But yeah, very cool. Never seen it though. Since his Iowa's 95% corn, they even have a song or two about it. Yeah, Iowa's probably higher on the corn list than Indiana, I would say. Phil says Eli Roth's movies and characters feel like that back of the throat itch before you get sick. That's an interesting but fairly accurate way of putting it. I kind of agree with that. Okay, I dig that. The best thing Eli Roth did was the History of Horror Movies interview show. I don't remember if I ever watched any of that stuff. I know he was doing a show for a while. There was like, My Sister Fucked a Ghost or something like that. Because he stopped making movies for a while there, and I think was just doing that TV stuff. But I never. I'll tell you guys, anything with Eli Roth's name on it, I'm more than likely to just like avoid. So that's just me. Begonia was a hoot in conspiracy wise. I've heard of that. That's a new one, right? That's one that's come out in the past few months, I guess. Haven't seen it though. I haven't seen it. Stesio saying I have Green Inferno. It was the big DVD buy. That's another thing, guys. There's also a buy, sell, trade section over on the Discord, and Stesio posted a shitload of DVDs and stuff in his collection that he's looking to offload. So if anybody's looking for anything and you're able to hop over on that Discord, hit him up. Because Stesio does a lot of vending at conventions, and I think you have your own store, I think. So, yeah, hit him up. But otherwise, I'm not a Roth fan. Thanksgiving was better as a trailer in a Grindhouse. I will say that, yeah, in Grindhouse, the trailer for Thanksgiving was pretty awesome. Um, I really dug that, especially the use of the John Harrison score from Creepshow. I thought was hearing that in a movie theater in 2007. Not only was the Grindhouse movie experience awesome, but just hearing John Harrison's score for Creepshow 2 in a theater in 2007 was, mind blowing for my young, 19-year-old mind, I guess, at the time. Yeah. Peter and Don offers to give Fran an abortion. Yeah, I guess that's where this angle's coming from, the abortion angle. So, um, Larry saying hated the end of Begonia, saw it coming up Fifth Avenue in a cab. Well, no spoilers, no spoilers. 'Cause you never know. I might get a wild hair at my ass and check those out. But usually, I'm trying to catch up on like movies from the '60s and '70s more often than not. Um, That's a good question. Peter was apparently a skilled abortionist. Exactly how I've always wondered that, but there's so much that you can draw from those characters' backstories, just from little pieces of information that you get throughout Dawn of the Dead. One of my dream projects that if I ever just have the time and the energy to do is to write an entire prequel television series soap opera or something about those characters, because there's so much there that you can really dig into in terms of like where they were and where they're coming from before they all meet in Dawn of the Dead. That's my super nerd project that I would love to tackle someday. I already have a name for it too. One Dawn at a Time, playing off of the soap opera aspect. But I don't know. That'll probably never happen, but it's in my head. It's in my head. No love for the Bear Jew. I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him for Inglorious Bastards. I'll give a little love to the Bear Jew. Yeah, I'll agree. That was originally supposed to be Adam Sandler, though. Now that would have been an interesting casting choice from Tarantino. Adam Sandler as the Bear Jew. That would have been kind of cool. I would much rather have seen Adam Sandler in that role than Eli Roth, but Eli Roth did a good job, so it worked out. Will saying also Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price, I Am Legend. Yeah. I don't know that. I mean, I've never seen the I Am Legend with Will Smith, but the Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price is definitely a good one. I don't know if that would be on a list of like movies that everybody hates. I feel like most people kind of hold that film in a certain reverence. Um, but yeah, that's one I'll go to bat for sure. J&T Jr. What's going on, man? Phantasm Ravager was pretty good. Okay, there you go. There's an opinion I might agree with you on. We'll talk about it. Yeah, I agree with that too. Thanksgiving a fake trailer for Grindhouse was fantastic. Agree with that. Wilson, I will also go to bat for I Am Legend, which is a remake of Last Man with Vincent Price. There you go. I think that's your your complete thought from your previous from your previous comment. But I knew what you were saying. I knew where you were coming from on that. But yeah, I haven't seen I Am Legend though with Will Smith. That always seemed like a weird combination to me. But that's one I've never really heard a lot of bad things about. But Ed, okay, here's a conspiracy theory. Season of the Witches, Marion Hamilton and Deborah Harry and Tales from the Dark Side are from the same coven. So the two films are in the same universe. I kind of like that. The same like suburban housewife. I kind of dig that. I'm kind of with you on that, Ed. I like that. Good theory. I dig that. Stacey, I'll take Omega Man over I Am Legend. I like the Omega Man as well. Charlton Heston, man. Can't beat Charlton Heston. Dan's saying he said he knows how not that he's a skilled abortionist. Peter could have kicked her down the stairs. She said, yes, that is true. He's like, it's not too late and I know how. Bring her over here by the stairwell. All right, you stand there. All right, go. That could have been it. Yeah, you're right. Steven says Peter's abortion skills were very simple: staircase plus gravity plus shove equals success. Yeah, I mean, they did have that big long stairwell up to the hideout, so it could have worked. Matt's saying, despite its technical flaws, Ravager has a lot of heart. I watch it from the perspective that Reggie's dying of dementia, and that's why everything feels so disjointed and crazy. Words, yeah. Just take them right out of there, Matt. I don't even need to cover the fucking thing now. With Stezio, I love Mega Man, says Larry. I do. I love a Mega Man, and it's funny. It's interesting because you kind of get the feeling, especially if you watch The Last Man on Earth, you get the vibe. And Romero has talked about the inspiration that he drew for Night of the Living Dead from the Richard Matheson novel I Am Legend. But I think he also, which I don't know if he's ever really talked about this before, not that really that comes to mind. But if you watch The Last Man on Earth, you kind of get the idea that he may have drawn a little bit of inspiration for Night of the Living Dead from Last Man on Earth as well. Just the look of the zombies and the way that they behave and the idea of boarding up the house and stuff like that. You could see a lot of that in Last Man on Earth. But the Omega Man, if you read the original treatment, or the original, 80 something page screenplay, that unfinished screenplay that Romero was working on for Dawn of the Dead from the early 70s, it has a very Omega Man vibe to it, in my opinion. And Omega Man was early 70s. What was that, like 71? I think 1970, 71, something like that. So that you also kind of get the idea that maybe Romero had just seen the Omega Man before he started working on that Dawn screenplay. But if you read that screenplay, it is always thinking of it gives me Omega Man vibes for sure. Since then, I'm Legend with Smith had too much Uncanny Valley 3D. Other versions are better with more interesting story arcs. Okay. All right. You guys want to? All right. What do we want to do here? I'm caught up on all the comments. Appreciate all the new members. Welcome. And like I said, I'll look and see if I have any more to gift. Which actually, I don't know how the hell I did that last week now that I'm thinking about it. But I'll look into it here. I'll look into it later. Maybe after we get through some of these titles and talk about them, and I'll let you guys start throwing some shade at me. We'll start with this one, because it's one that we've just kind of talked about, and Matt just kind of made a point of it, and really just kind of, like I said, pretty much said everything I wanted to say. But the first movie we're going to talk about tonight, for movies that everybody hates except for me, it's Phantasm Ravager, the fifth, and up to this point, and probably what should be the final entry into the Phantasm saga, whatever you want to call it. This came out, when did Ravager come out? It's fairly recent. What, 2016, something like that. It was many years after the previous installment, Oblivion, which was like late 90s when Oblivion came out. But Ravager was just one of those movies that I always avoided, because it just took so long, and it wasn't directed by Don Coscarelli. He was involved in it, but it wasn't directed by Coscarelli. It was many years after the last entry, and I just heard nothing but, oh, it's real shitty CGI, it's real low budget, it's real corny, it's real blah. And so I just avoided it. And, I was just like, because I love the original Phantasm. That's one of my all-time favorite horror films. One of my all-time favorite scores. Love almost everything about Phantasm, the original Phantasm. The rest of the trilogy, is good and bad for me. So when Ravager came out, I was just like, I don't need it. I'll skip it. But here recently, I just watched it for the first time 6 months ago, if that. And I was going through a period where I was watching all of the Phantasm movies, because I have this box set DVD collection here of all the films. So I just decided I'm going to go watch all the Phantasm movies from the beginning to the final one. And when I get to Ravager, I'll make a decision, Love Phantasm, like I said, one of my all-time favorites. Phantasm 2, I know people love Phantasm 2, but I'm not crazy about it. I'm not crazy about Phantasm 2. I think it's just the lack of A. Michael Baldwin. Um, the vibe of it is just it's a little too it to me it feels like it's trying to be a little too much like Evil Dead 2. And I know I mean there's the call, but the reference to Sam Raimi in it. But I've never been super crazy about part 2. 3, Lord of the Dead. I like 3 a lot. Like that one's a really fun movie. I like the kid. I like Rocky. I think there's a lot of fun stuff about 3. 4, Oblivion's one that I've always heard people say that they liked quite a bit, but I've never been an Oblivion guy. That would probably be at the bottom of my list in terms of my Phantasm favorites. I mean, I like a lot of the flashback stuff to where they use the original footage that they shot like some deleted footage from the original film that they incorporated into that and help flesh out the story a little more. But to me, that one always just felt like the wheels were just kind of spinning in place. Like it didn't seem like it was really kind of pushing anything forward or being groundbreaking, really doing anything different. So I watched all 4 of those, and I got to Ravager. And Ravager I was like, okay, all right, I'm gonna pop it in. I'm just gonna kind of watch it out of the corner of my eye and just kind of take it in and kind of develop some kind of interest. See if I can find something of interest to grab onto. Um, and I wrote these down as well, just to kind of give you guys an idea of the overall feeling of for that people have for Phantasm Ravager. So it's got an IMDb score of 4.9 out of 10, Rotten Tomato score of 54%, which is not terrible. It's average, I guess, but not good. Not good. And a letterbox grade of 2.3 out of 5. So not probably the least, far and away the least popular entry into the Phantasm series for sure. So I watched Ravager, and it kind of like what Matt was saying. It kind of tugged at my heartstrings, and I wonder if it's because I waited to watch it now as opposed to watching it when it came out. Because Phantasm Ravager, if you guys haven't seen it, is really more the story of Reggie. Reggie's kind of been the Ash type of character um, in the Phantasm films, um, but he's always kind of been a secondary-ish character to Mike or Jody or whoever. He's always kind of been like not a sidekick, a little bit higher, more of a little bit more than a sidekick, but Ravager is really the Reggie story. And yes, it's very low budget. I think it had a budget of what, like $600,000 or something like that. Very low budget for the time. There is some pretty cringy CGI in it. Angus Scrim, like there's some what looks like CGI Angus Scrim in it because he was, not in the best health when they made this movie either. But like I said, it's the Reggie story, and it's really about Reggie suffering through dementia. And through the movie, you don't really know what's actually happening and what isn't, like what's not happening. And Reggie's kind of struggling with like reality, and it's really the story of Reggie at the end of his life, kind of struggling with dementia. And I wonder if it hit me a little deeper watching it here recently as opposed to if I watched it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it was when it came out, because of what's going on with Reggie now in real life with Reggie Bannister and his actual battle with I think he's actually battling dementia now. And so maybe that it kind of tugged at the heartstrings a little more when I watched it just a few months ago. And it's almost, I mean, it is kind of a beautiful end to the series. It's kind of a beautiful end to the Reggie story. So I don't hate Ravager. Most people that I've ever heard talk about it, they just say, it's a cheap, low budget piece of shit. Don Coscarelli didn't even direct it. Like, like all this bad CGI and all this. But if you look past some of that stuff, because there is some bad CGI and it is a little low budget and all that. I mean, but if you look past it and just kind of, like I said, especially looking at it now in retrospect with everything that is actually going on with Reggie, Um, like I said, it's actually a fairly decent ending to the saga, a fairly decent ending to the story. Um, so yeah, first on my list is Phantasm Ravager. Um, Everybody hates that movie, but I kind of like it. So, but I'm a Phantasm fan as it is, so I was probably more apt to like it anyway. But if I were to like rank the five Phantasm movies, which I have heard, I saw a rumor here recently where they're talking about turning Phantasm into a television series, which I think is actually a pretty good idea because I think there's a lot of meat on that bone in terms of the story and how it would play out. I don't know who they would get to play the tall man that would match up to Angus Grimm. Um, they'll probably get a tall woman or something. Um, but I think if they turned it into a television series, that'd be interesting. But if I were to rank them, my favorite to least favorite of the series, like Ravager would not be at the bottom of that list. I think I would put Oblivion as probably my least favorite of the series. I'd probably go original Phantasm 1, Phantasm 3, I'd probably put at 2. I'd probably put 2 at 3, and Ravager 4, Oblivion 5. I do like 2. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of 2, but I do think it's at least a well enough made, fun movie. Um, it works well enough that it is just ahead of Ravager. But I wonder if I give Ravager another watch or two, maybe that would move up the list. I don't know because I really did kind of enjoy it. It did kind of hit me in the heart when I watched it here recently, and I was like, like yeah, there's a lot of flaws to it, man. But I love Reggie Bannister and his character so much that it's just like you feel for him, but also you love getting to spend pretty much the entire movie in his world. So there you go. Number one, Phantasm Ravager. What do you guys think? How many of you guys have seen it? What do you guys think of it? Hey, Fat Pig the Conqueror gifted 1 Alpha Romero membership. Who was the lucky recipient of the membership? This is very cool. Very cool you guys to be doing this. This is awesome. Let me see. Let me see if it'll tell me. Rob G, 1958, received a gift membership from Fat Pig the Conqueror. Hell yeah. Congratulations, Rob G. Welcome to the party, sir. And thank you for doing that, Fat Pig. Or, I'm sorry, Mr. Conqueror. Very cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Coincidence Control. What's going on, man? Good to see you again. Greetings and salutations. John Gora says, I only ever saw the first Phantasm. The whole series is pretty good. It's one of those series that like there's not really a bad film in the bunch. The one that everybody always said was the bad film in the bunch is Ravager, but I would suggest giving it another watch. If you've seen it and you didn't like it, give it another shot. If you haven't seen it, keep an open mind. That's what I would say. Conqueror says Ravager was all right. I thought most of us knew what we were getting into before watching. And I think that's a big thing too. It's like I said, it took me a while to finally watch it, but I think another thing with some of these movies is like you hear so much bad shit about it that I just go in expecting the worst. And then when it's not the worst, you're just like, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Since as I enjoyed the first 2 Phantasms, saw 2 in the theater. Very cool. Since saw pretty much everything that came out in the 80s in the theater. That's your gimmick. That's your gimmick. I saw that on first run and then when it came out. You're the one guy that I know that saw Knight Riders on its opening run, and you weren't even a Romero fan yet, so that's pretty cool. Fun Bobby 33. What's up, Fun Bobby? Says own it. Haven't watched it yet. Give it a shot, man. Give it a shot, especially if you're a Phantasm fan. If you're a fan of the Reggie character, definitely give it a shot. Keep an open mind. Phil the Dead says Phantasm 2 is trying to be a Hollywood blockbuster. 3 fucked me up as a child. 3, I remember watching all the time. They used to play that all the time on like the Sci-Fi channel, I think, back in the day. That might be the first Phantasm movie I remember watching when I was a kid was part 3. But yeah, 2 was definitely a Hollywood. It felt a little more Hollywood, although it wasn't. I mean, it didn't have a huge budget or anything like that, but they did a good job of kind of giving the, like I said, that Evil Dead 2 vibe. Maybe a little like the Terminator 2 vibe, where it's a little more action oriented as opposed to the horror of the situation. But yeah, I just dig 3, man. I like the kid. I like Rocky. I like I like that they bring back Michael Baldwin to play his role. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just I like 3. What can I say? Matt says Phantasm 2 is a great mix of macho bravado and gothic themes. The close up tight shots on that fucking Cuda, man. Yeah, that's another thing. The fucking Hemi Cuda, which I think wasn't the original Phantasm. Wasn't it just a regular Cuda and then the rest there were Hemi Cudas? I can't remember. But one of them it's a different, slightly different style of car. But yeah, Phantasm 2. Yeah, I mean it's a fine movie. It's a fun movie, but like I hear people sometimes say that they like it better than the original, which is their opinion. But you know, I don't see it. I just think the original is just like a brilliant, like perfectly crafted, low budget, like horror film that just I don't know. To me, it just perfectly encapsulates like a nightmare when you're a little kid. Like when you're a little kid and you're having a nightmare and none of it makes any fucking sense, but it's so real and just out there. Yeah, I don't know. That's Phantasm to me. It's saying Ravager is a good part, is good as a part of the series, but as the final word on the series, it fails. So it's not its fault that people don't like it, if that makes sense. I get what you're saying on that. I think it's a fine finale because it, you know, it does kind of wrap up Reggie's story. Um, it's pretty out there. There's some funky shit in it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I dug it though. I dug it. Like I said, maybe it's just where we're what's going on now with Reggie and everything that kind of makes it hit home a little harder than it did when it first came out. But I dig it. Oh, we got a super chat. You're gonna give me a chance to play my super chat graphic here. It's always fun. Here we go.
You never know.
Money, money, money. Right.
Pupil, $5 super chat. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. You never know. Wiki says Reggie was diagnosed with dementia in 2016. Interesting. So that'd been right around the time that the movie. I thought it was a little later than that, but that's interesting. Trying to see. I don't remember exactly what year Ravager came out, but it was right around that time. So it's kind of interesting. Maybe it played into the whole. Maybe his diagnosis sparked the idea for that character. I don't know. But by the way, you ever switch from cigs to nicotine Zins? I'm a Zenner, man. I'm a Zenner. Don't hate the Zenner, hate the Zen. Want you to make these streams another 50 years. Yeah, man. It's funny. Like the Zins, yeah, it's nicotine. It's not great for you, but it's a lot better than the cigs were. And they kind of help kill the craving, and you walk around smelling like cigarettes all the fucking time. It's kind of nice. I dig the Zins. But I appreciate the sentiment, man. But yeah, way ahead of you already, sir. Way ahead of you. But thank you very much for the super chat, brother. Appreciate it. I hope to be. I don't know if I can be doing these streams for 50 more years. So I'll be 9. Can you imagine? Think about that. And then you just sparked this whole thing in my head. Can you imagine like years and years from now, like all the YouTubers and all the people that do live streaming and stuff, and we're really old and fucking just crabby old fuckers, like we're just the old veterans of the YouTube live streams and shit, and we're just on here talking. We're gonna be like what's his face from 60 Minutes. It's like, back in my day we did this, and these kids these days don't know how to stream they fucking slapped him in the face. What's his name? Rooney, Andy Rooney, Mickey Rooney, one of those Roonies. But yeah, I'm going to be the Andy Rooney of YouTube live streams. That's my goal. That's my goal. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the super chat. Let's see, back here to the comments. Steven says, when you get to number 5 of any movie series, you generally can't expect miracles. I barely remember 5. I think I saw it on cable one night. It was watchable, but far from a classic. Oh yeah, I wouldn't call it a classic or anything, but what most people were making it out to be it was just like, oh, what a travesty. Why would they even make this fucking thing? Like, it's just like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Just come on. Matt says if you're so inclined and haven't already seen it, go check out the Phantasm series deep dive I did with Grande on his channel last year. Absolutely, check that out. Grande's Graveyard. Go check him out anyway. Dude streams every Thursday night. Dude's a wealth of knowledge. It doesn't matter what genre, what movie. The dude is fucking prepared and can talk movies all day long. But yeah, that was a great stream that Matt did with Grande. This was quite a few months ago, so go check it out. Go subscribe to Grande's channel and go back and take a look. They really do a really good deep dive into the Phantasm series. And I think me and Matt are both going to be appearing on Grande's channel coming up next month to talk about Paradise Lost and the West Memphis 3. Which I am fucking excited about. I'm really glad that Grande invited us on to do that, because I've been dying to talk about that shit for so long. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, Grande's Graveyard. Go check them out, guys. Hit that sub. Coincidence Control. I enjoyed all the Phantasm movies except for Ravager. That seems to be like the overarching thought about the Phantasm series. Everybody loves the first four, but the fifth one, like, well, so that's why it's on my list of movies that everybody hates, and except for me. So I kind of dig it. Bonnie says I bet I've seen Ravager. I haven't seen Ravager. I'll add it to my watch list. Yeah, check it out. Keep an open mind. Like I said, there is some corny fucking CGI in it, and there is some, it is low budget, but hang in there. Phil the Dead says Phantasm would be an excellent show if just for the vibe. Yeah, I really think Phantasm, of all, because I know they've talked about like a Texas Chainsaw series, a Friday the 13th series. I think the one that would lend itself best for a television series in terms of like old school horror franchises would be Phantasm, because I think there are so many ways you can go with that series and so many things you could do. I think it would work really well, in my opinion, but we'll see what they do with it. There's a future show topic: casting Phantasm the series. Well, see, I don't know modern actors well enough to like cast them with modern actors. Like if you ask me to cast with like actors from the 70s or 80s, I could probably do that. Which is actually not a bad idea for like some of the like Romero films. Like I'd love to do like a show about like recasting Night 90 or something like that, because there are a couple of roles in that I would recast. But yeah, like modern stuff, like I couldn't. Most actors and actresses now, especially actresses, I couldn't pick them out of a lineup. Like people are like, "Oh, that's so and so," and I'm just like, wouldn't know if she walked up to me. So, since you're bringing up conspiracies, could you make up one where Angus Scrimm's appearance in Chopping Mall shows him wanting to steal the mall bots to patrol the mausoleums in future movies? It's an interesting theory, but that might make Chopping Mall a little bit more interesting if that was the case. But yeah, we'll talk about some conspiracy theories in a minute. But Fat Pig the Conqueror says another good Coscarelli movie that would make a good TV show is John Dies at the End. I haven't seen that one, but I've actually heard some pretty good things about that. I still need to go all the way back and see Kenny and Company, and the one that he did before Kenny and Company. I would love to go back and check those out, because they has all the actors and quite a few of the actors from the Phantasm movies and stuff in it before Phantasm. So I got to track those down and check those out first. Estesio says, love Phantasm, filmed near where I grew up. The sequels all felt short for me. 5 was difficult because it seemed like a weak closure. I wanted it to be better because I loved the beginning so much. I could see that. So you didn't grow up in like Compton, did you? Because that's where they shot some of Phantasm 2. The cemetery in Phantasm 2 was Compton. I think there's stories out there of like cars like pulling up and like shooting into the air, like trying to get the the crew to leave because they think they're like, what are they doing in our hood, and get the fuck out. But yeah, where did you grow up? I'm West Coast, I guess, but did you grow up in Compton, man? You got some street cred I didn't know about, Stesio. Shit. Welcome to the party, pal. every now and then I'll get that I'll get that urge or that where I'll be like, ah man, I'd really like a smoke. But for the most part, like I don't think about it anymore. Like it's not really something I really think about too much. But especially if I'm drinking or something like that, drinking's really bad. Like if I'm drinking, it just seems natural to have a cigarette with it. But for the most part, man, Zen's where it's at. Zen's where it's at. Jeff says, agree, Michael. The original Phantasm has a cool story, great characters, great score, and an incredible atmospheric vibe. Boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Love the original Phantasm. Yeah, there you go. Rooney, Andy Rooney. You know what I can't stand about kids these days? They're AI best friends. Since then, I'll be wheeling around in a scooter with a gimbal cam, annoying youngsters at events. There you go. You'll be on a fucking hover round with your gimbal. That'll be, I mean, it will, I mean, in all seriousness, it will be an interesting world we will live in, you know, down the line when we're all old and still trying to stream and be cool YouTubers. It says all us old YouTubers will be like John Russo. I created that. It was my idea. Pretty much. I'll be the John Russo of YouTubers. That's my goal. Did I ever tell you that I invented live streaming? Mr. Beast, I taught him everything he knew. John Gore says Werewolf with Chuck Connors was a great series. It owed a bit to The Fugitive and The Hulk, but I've never seen that. Never seen it. I know Chuck Connors, though. It's the Rifleman, right? Yeah. Never seen Werewolf, though. Hello, Satan. What's going on, brother? Glad to have Satan in the house. Always. Jim, the world's greatest. That's right. That's the other one I gotta track down and check out. Stukas Grande has a great review of the battery. Yeah, Grande loves the battery. He was one of those like the guy I originally heard about it from, and I did eventually get around to seeing it. So I really dig it too. That's another one that was made for like what $10,000 or something like that. Yeah, really enjoyed that. That's one of those modern zombie films that I really dug. Jeff says you have to see Kenny and Company, one of my favorite all-time films. Wow, all right. Yeah, that's definitely on the list of shit to check out here soon. Still need to see Kenny and Company too. Werewolf was cool. Great Greg Canham effects. Music by Sylvester LeVay. Jeff, Kenny and Company perfectly encapsulates the 70s vibe of Halloween with your friends. Yeah, I'll check it out. Definitely be checking that out as soon as I can get a hold of it. Chopping Mall is the perfect 80s movies, violence, cool robots, and great boobies. Home run combination. Yeah. I mean, it is, and it's like 80 minutes long. It's super 80s. But it's fun. It's a fun movie. It's not going to change the world or anything. Matt says Kenny and Company shares a lot of DNA with Phantasm, very reminiscent of Romero. A lot of the same cast, and Coscarelli uses friends and family. Guerrilla filmmaking, yeah. I mean, it was financed by his parents too, so real family atmosphere. Literally, a family atmosphere on that film. Vulo, what's going on, brother? Just popping in to say hi. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Glad you could pop in to say hi for a second. Conqueror saying, speaking of Chopping Mall, I want to see that Jim Wynorski documentary. I haven't heard of that. I think we'll be talking about Jim Wynorski on a future episode of the Revival House live stream that I do with those guys. Go check them out. Go sub to them. Okay, I lost my place. Hold on. There we go. Stezio grew up in the San Francisco area. They filmed all around in different small towns, plus the mansion in Oakland, which I've been to. Very cool. Oh yeah, that would be like a great, because they've used that for a couple of different productions, a couple of different films. But I'd love to visit the what's the name of it now? I can't think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, the where they shot out in fucking funeral home. God, blanking on it, but that'd be a great location to visit at some point. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. Return of the Living Dead 2. Is that on your list? It would be. It's not, but it would be because I do like Return of the Living Dead 2. I didn't like it very much first time I saw it, but again, it was one of those that kind of grew on me over time. But again, it's one of those movies that I feel like has gained some respect over the years. Um, I hear more and more people kind of putting it over. So, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it would be on my list. But again, I really dug to the bottom of the barrel on some of these the real movies that people get fucking angry about. Like, how fucking dare you? How dare they make this movie? That was my goal tonight. Which speaking of, let's talk about another one here real quick. Let me check. All right, we're good. We're good. Crack one open for the working man. Little Iron City beer for us all here tonight. Cheers to you guys. Cheers to you. All right, so this one, there are very few of us out there that like this movie, but when you find them, you're in rarefied air. This movie has an IMDb score of 3.4 out of 10, a Rotten Tomato score of 15%, and a Letterboxd score of 1.9 out of 5. Yes, people hate this fucking movie, and I don't understand it because I love this movie. And all I have to say is all right, all right, all right. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation, or Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre as it was originally put. Come on, guys. Matthew McConaughey is a fucking blast in this movie. He's incredible in this movie. So quotable. Like, just his performance is so over the top, so batshit fucking crazy. It's so fun, and especially looking back on it in retrospect, knowing what McConaughey would go on to be one of the biggest actors in Hollywood, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. It's so fun to watch him play this over the top psycho character in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. This is like, so this is a very controversial film for a number of reasons. The first being that it was shelved for a few years. I mean, it was made, I think it was made originally to come out in 95, and I don't think it came out until 97, 98. Because it does star Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger, who were at that time on the ascent into Hollywood stardom, like huge stars. So by the time this came out, they were already stars, which is why they're plastered all over the posters and shit for it. But it was so over the top and so wild and so crazy, and people just didn't get it. People still don't get this movie. This isn't one of those movies that like people have kind of come around on over the years, and you hear people now saying like, "Oh yeah, look at it, it's not so bad." But this is my favorite Chainsaw sequel out of all of them. I like it better than 2. I like it better than 3. I fucking love this movie. There's so much to dig into with this movie, and to me, it's the truest sequel to the original that they ever made. Partially because it was directed by Kim Hinkle, written and directed by Kim Hinkle, who was one of the original co-writers in the original. But spiritually, it has it has everything that the original had. But again, it's like it takes it to another level. It takes it to a different place. It creates other questions. It's so out there. It's so fucking batshit. I love the interplay between the characters when they're at the prom, and they all kind of have their quirks and their own thing. And Renee Zellweger's kind of the nerd, and she's with the two the couple that's always fighting about everything. Like, it's so over the top, and the dialogue is not bad. Like, the dialogue is kind of like, what the fuck are they talking about here? There's so much weird shit going on in this movie at all times. From the time they get to the high school prom at the beginning of the movie, weird shit is like, people are saying weird shit, people are doing weird shit. So by the time they get to the point where they're driving out into the middle of nowhere and they come upon Matthew McConaughey's character, it's all out the window. Like, you don't know what the hell's coming around the bend. Robert Jacks, who plays Leatherface in this, does a great job. I actually just watched an interview with Robert Jacks that Sandra Bernhardt conducted right before this movie came out, from back in the day, and it's just he just seemed he passed away soon after, I believe, the film came out. Um, but he just seemed like such an interesting guy a fun guy. Like, he would have been really fun to be around at conventions if he would have lived long enough. Um, but it's so out there, it's so wacky. Uh, but again, it feels a lot like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre to me. Um, the quotable lines, just the characters, every character is colorful and has their own thing about them that you're kind of interested in. Like, where did this person come from? Why are they here? Why are they doing this? Um, it's got some fairly brutal moments in it. There's some it's just one of those weird fucking movies that I find myself enjoying every time I watch it. And the biggest thing that people shit on this movie for, they're like, oh, they go the fucking Illuminati route. Oh, why did they bring in the Illuminati? And a lot of people don't get it. A lot of people don't understand what the movie's, where it's coming from and what it's trying to say in terms of like the Illuminati stuff. But it's all like, if you know, like I said, I kind of dig conspiracies. Like, sometimes I'll go down that rabbit hole on YouTube, or I'll like watch videos on conspiracy theories and shit like that. The Illuminati conspiracy is kind of an interesting one to me. So like, when I see it, I didn't get it when I first saw it, because I first watched this movie when I was a kid, and I was just like, this is just some wild, crazy shit that doesn't make any sense, but I kind of like it. Um, but the whole idea that there's this clan of people that have been put together, this clan of crazy ass people that have been put together in the middle of nowhere in Texas, that are being paid to kind of harvest, to kind of kidnap and kill and harvest the blood of, you know, frightened teenagers. Like, that's literally part of the conspiracy theory of the Illuminati. It's like they feast on the blood of frightened children, and that's what this movie's about. Like, when Rothman shows up, I think that's his name, Rothman. He shows up and he's like the weird businessman guy in the limo. Like, a lot of people don't get that. They're like, "What the fuck does this even mean? Like, where did he come from? Why is he here?" But it makes total sense. And even if you go back, and I say this all the time, if you go back to the original Texas Chainsaw, there's a lot of that in there as well. And I was thinking about this the other day when it comes to the original Texas Chainsaw, about the cannibalism aspect of it. Because in this film, they're not cannibals. There's no cannibalism in this movie. That's not what it's about. They're there, basically their job, Matthew McConaughey and Leatherface, their job is to kill these teenagers, frighten them, scare them, use their fear, and get them to a point where they're so afraid that they can harvest the blood for Rothman or whoever has hired them and put them in this position. And it's interesting because in the original Texas Chainsaw, it does seem like that's kind of what they're doing. They don't say it. I mean, there's people always ask, like, why, how is Grandpa still alive? But the whole scene where they cut Sally's finger and Grandpa sucks on the finger for the blood because Sally's freaking out. Like, the conspiracy theory about that is like there's something in the blood called adrenochrome that the Illuminati lizard people or whatever feast on, that keeps them young and keeps them fresh and gives them power. And that's kind of in the original. And like I was saying a minute ago, it's like they don't really ever come out and blatantly talk about the family being cannibals. They never really. I mean, it's kind of insinuated in different points, but it's never really about the cannibalism. It's like, why are they keeping Sally? Why are they not just killing her? Why are they keeping her hostage and just torturing her to the point where she's, manic, to the point where they bring her over to like, why would they have to harvest her blood in that, that tub or whatever? It's like, it's all kind of there. And if you know anything about Toby Hooper and Kim Hinkle from around that time period, I mean, those were, acid dropping hippies that were probably into fucking conspiracy theories at the time. So to me, Next Generation was Kim Hinkle kind of just pulling the curtain all the way back and saying, okay, this is what it's about. It's about the Illuminati. It's about, and they even goes as far to say it in Texas Chainsaw Next Generation as the name of the towing company that Vilmer, Matthew McConaughey's character, runs is called Illuminati Trucking or Illuminati Towing or whatever it is. And I just think that that's far more interesting to me. I mean, it's definitely way out there, way the fuck out there in left field, but it matches up more to me with the original as opposed to part 2, which is really just all about, why are they doing this? Like it's all about, the chili cook off, and it's all about eating people, and it's more straight. I guess Toby Hooper was just kind of saying, okay, we're just going to go down this route. We're not going to dig too deeply into the Illuminati shit. Part 3 to me is just like, what's the point? Like, why is this even here? And it was shot in California, which is another thing I like about The Next Generation, is that it feels like a movie that was made in Texas with real Texas actors with Texas accents. They have certain sayings that only people in the South would actually know to say in this movie. It feels like a movie made in Texas, and to me, a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie should be made in Texas. Anywhere else, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel legit to me. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that people just didn't get about Texas Chainsaw Massacre and still don't get about it. The Next Generation, but it's all there, and there's so much interesting shit. The cross-dressing Leatherface, it's got that vibe going on too, and I don't know. I love it. I love it. It's like I said, it's my favorite sequel of the bunch, but for most people, they look at it and they just think, what a fucking mess. None of this makes any sense, but it's there. It's there if you want it to be there. But again, it all goes back to me, fucking Matthew McConaughey, just going way, way over the top before Matthew McConaughey was Matthew McConaughey. And to me, that's worth the price of admission alone for Texas Chainsaw, The Next Generation, or Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But yeah, I love it. Everybody else hates it. But all right, let me see. Give me the heat. Give me the heat, guys. Yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned, Satan. All right, there you go. Dunsmuir match. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. No Howling 2. No Howling 2 tonight. Okay, so we're all right. Okay. Phil the Dead says it's not bad. It's not bad. And it's got cameos in it. It's got the cameos with Marilyn Burns. Paul Partain has a cameo in it. John Dugan has a cameo in it from the original. So that's cool if you like the fan service. It's got that in, and it's got that in it. And it's got an early appearance for the wrestling fans out there, an early appearance from Deborah McMichael. She plays one of the police officers when they're pulling up to the pizza place. So keep an eye out for that as well. It is a funny movie. It is funny. It is funny. And Toby Hooper always talks about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He always saw it as a dark comedy almost. Like there's a lot of humor in it, but people didn't get it. This one is definitely more in your face dark comedy. And I think that's what one of the things too that I like about it is Renee Zellweger's character. After a while, she stands up to these motherfuckers. She stands up to them and won't fear and feed into what they're trying to get from her, trying to get that fear, to get that adrenochrome, baby. The whole scene where she's like, "You sit the fuck down," it's just like, all right, bad bitch here, all right. But yeah, it is a funny movie. It is a very much a dark comedy as well as being a horror film. Stezio, okay, I like Texas Chainsaw Next Generation 2. Cheers to you, brother. Cheers to you. Who else is coming out tonight? Who else is coming out of the closet tonight? Satan Next Generation is weird. It is weird. It is weird. But my God, give me weird, 10 times over as opposed to just another rehash trying to recreate what the original gave us. Rednecks, oh, we're hillbilly cannibals in the middle of Texas. Like, no, just give me weird, man. Because the original Texas Chainsaw is fucking weird, and there's a lot of that doesn't make any fucking sense. So yeah, just give me weird, give me weird. Yeah, he is a lunatic in this film. Matthew McConaughey, he's great. He's great, and it's one of those films that when you ask him about it now, he has great memories of and like fond thoughts about. Where he's just like, yeah. I was in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and that was a lot of fun, man. That was a lot of fun. And you got to think, like, compared to like some of the other shit he's been in, and I was like, yeah, I'm sure it is fun to be that over the top fucking psychopath in a movie. Yeah, I mean, how fun would that be? Larry says, already knew you liked a lot of shitty movies, so none of these picks surprised me. Well, stay tuned. Stay tuned. I have one on here. I have one on the list that I was going to talk about and defend tonight, but I actually popped it in and watched it again for the first time in a while last night. And halfway through, I was like, yeah, I can't defend this. I can't defend it. I thought I liked it more than I did because I remember seeing it in the theaters. But watching it again, I was like, maybe not. Maybe not. John Gora says studios wanted to bury the film to protect the up and coming stars. See, my theory is it had nothing to do with them wanting to protect up and coming stars, because both of them have been asked about it in interviews since then, and both have nothing but, fun things to say about it. I think it was the Illuminati and their control of Hollywood that didn't want this getting out to let, so the truth didn't get out there. And the frogs are gay. That was my Alex Jones impression. That's my theory. Damn it. All right. Fat Pig the Conqueror Next Generation grew on you. Okay. Maybe. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for this to be one of those movies that people kind of come around on, but we'll see. It's saying Next Generation was a good flick. I agree with you on Matthew. Renee was a teenage crush of mine. Renee was good in it too. Like, she was fine in it too. Very physical role, and she pulled it off very well. Especially the chase sequence. I mean, it's a very reminiscent chase sequence with her and Leatherface is, Leatherface and Marilyn Burns in the original. And I thought they pulled that off as well. Get the damn screwdriver out of my head. The funny thing about that scene in Return 2, so my daughter will sometimes, she wants to watch, when you guys know, she wants to watch horror movies with dad, and I let her, I'll say, oh, I thought Return 2 is tame. I mean, it's kind of a fun comedy zombie movie, It's got a kid in it, she kind of likes, horror movies with little kids, she can kind of identify with. But that was like the one and only time that she's ever like been watching a horror movie where it got to a point where she was like, this is too scary. I was like, really? Oh, okay. Well, we'll turn it off, But, and it was that moment. In that moment, that fucking zombie in the hospital with the screwdriver in his head, when he said that was it for her. She was like, all right, I'm done. Like, this is too scary. I can't do it. So interesting enough. But yeah, there's a fun little fact for you. Steven says, believe it or not, I'm actually with you on this one. I think the next remake was better made, but the performances were more over the top and left a better impression. Hell yeah. I'm not alone on this. Interesting. I actually was talking to somebody here recently that I'm going to have on the channel soon. That's maybe the biggest Next Generation fan that I've ever met. So tune in for that. We may dig in a little farther on some Next Generation talk if you guys are digging it. We'll see. Stizza says, I would love to get the poster with the chainsaw and the fishnets. That one's kind of hard to find, isn't it? I have multiple copies of this movie. I have 2 versions on DVD. I have which this is a really decent version that Scream Factory put out, and I know Felsher worked on. And there's a really good, it's not included on this, I don't believe. Could be. It has 2 different versions. It has a theatrical and a director's cut. But there's actually not a there's actually a pretty interesting documentary on the making of this movie that I think I think you can find it on YouTube. Actually, you just look up the making of the Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a pretty interesting little making of documentary on the making of the movie. It's kind of cool. So check that out if you're a fan of this movie. Um, John Gore says I like Zellweger in Love and a 45. I don't think I've seen that one. Phil says, I swear I saw this on HBO in like 96, 90. That's where I first saw it. I'm trying to remember if I saw this one first or 3 first, Leatherface. I feel like it was this one, but I could be wrong. It's either one of those because those were my 2 introductions to the Texas Chainsaw series was part 3 and Next Generation. And I remember being fucking terrified when I first saw this. Just the idea, like growing up in the South, like we grew up near the woods. So anything that takes place in the middle of nowhere in the woods is immediately like fucking nightmare bait for me when I was a kid. So, yeah, it was always on HBO. Yeah. That's probably where I first saw it, actually. Conqueror says, remember when Zellweger changed her entire appearance with plastic surgery, like some sort of super spy? Yeah, she looks. I don't get the plastic surgery shit that people are doing now with the what are the not liposuction, that's what people used to do. What's the what do they do now to their faces, like Kelly Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne and those types are really really heavy into it. It just looks scary, just looks odd. I don't get it. Ladies, don't do it, don't do that. Just age gracefully. That's all I can say. It says the young Matthew McConaughey was also on a great segment of Unsolved Mysteries. Interesting. I didn't know that. The only thing I ever knew him from this time period that would have been before Texas Chainsaw was Days of Confused. But yeah, that's interesting. Didn't know that. Phil the Dead says, ironically, both actors are not ashamed of the movie and have gone on the record to be supportive of it at random times. That's right. That's right. To each his own, though. Well, it's no Reanimator, but see, I don't even see. Now I got the reputation that I hate Reanimator, but I don't. I don't hate Reanimator. I like Reanimator. I just don't think it's the bee's knees. But Larry disagrees with me wholeheartedly on that. But Cabin in the Woods did it good. I haven't seen Cabin in the Woods either. Since says the adrenochrome stuff is hilarious since the chemical is just oxidized adrenaline and it does nothing special, just a bunch of wives' tales. The science of it is well known. Well, that's what you say, Synth. But who are you to argue with the lizard people of Middle Earth? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Works for them. Works for them. So. Larry, of course you love it. You love adrenochrome. I have no personal affinity for adrenochrome. I've heard that term and I know what it is. And I know what the conspiracy is around it. So it just makes this, especially some of the stuff in the original, makes sense. It's like if that's not what it is, then why is this petrified ancient grandpa sucking on Sally's finger and like coming to life like a little baby? Like, what other explanation would that be? Just the taste of blood, maybe, would possibly be the reason, but I don't know. I still think it's there. I still think it's there, damn it. Oh, one of the worst line deliveries ever. One of the worst Southern accents in any movie ever. Is that fucking bitch in Diary of the Dead. Cringe fucking worthy shit. Young Writer. Cross-eyed Luigi. What's going on, man? Matthew McConaughey yelling in that movie is so jokes. I love it though, man. I fucking love it. I'm here for it. I'll take Matthew McConaughey. I'll take over the top Matthew McConaughey any day. John says I like McConaughey in that Friedkin movie, Killer Joe. I haven't seen that one either. Killer Joe's some crazy shit, bro. Says you love Next Generation, but not TCM2 much. No. TCM2 is fine. It's like half of a really good movie to me. Like once they get to like the underground stuff in the amusement park, it kind of falls apart for me. Like when Dennis Hopper's character is just kind of there and he's just like chainsawing and yelling for most of the movie, and it kind of loses me. But like the first half of Texas Chainsaw 2, I think is brilliant. But it's just like once they get to the underground shit, it's just kind of like it kind of falls apart for me personally. But the shots from Ozempic, is that what they're doing? Is that the Ozempic shit? Yeah. Since the fantastical writings about adrenochrome made it very attractive from Aldous Huxley, Anthony Burgess, and Hunter S. Thompson. Yeah, that is a Hunter S. Thompson thing. I do remember that now. I'm gonna try it sometime, guys. I'll let you guys know if I start to look younger and more youthful and all that. You guys will know what's going on. Ross Incognito 273, what's up? Bad girls burn in hell. Thanks for that. We needed a little bit of that tonight. What's going on? Good to have you. But all right. So I did Texas Chainsaw Next Generation. You guys want to talk about another one? I did have a couple of some news stuff. I did have something else to show off here. I'll get to some of this here, and then we'll get back to some of these titles. Some of these I don't have as much to talk about. I just want to make a mention that I do like them. But a couple of these I will go to bat for. But I did, before we get too deep in it here, I did want to show you guys something I got in the mail the other day. Now, for the new members out there, new channel members, go back. There is a members only video of of me unboxing this thing, is what they call it, unpackaging it, and I dig a little deeper and show a little more about what's in this book. But I did get this in the mail the other day. It's the On the Set of Resident Evil 2, the TV commercial by Norman England. It's all about it's really just Norman's journal and some interviews that he did with Romero. There's an interview in here with Pat Buba that I'm pretty interested in talking about. After I read it, chock full of photos, some like never before seen behind the scenes photos of George and Brad Renfro behind the scenes in the making of the Resident Evil 2 commercial that George directed back in the day. Some really cool stuff in here with Screaming Mad George, who was a effects artist. Hasn't done anything since 2003. I was looking it up, and he hasn't done anything since 2003. But Screaming Mad George, you've done all kinds of stuff going all the way back to like I think Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. I think even some stuff before that, but Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, Society, like really, really amazing effects artist. But yeah, I don't know what happened. Like he just kind of shut it down after about 2003. But there's a lot of stuff in there with him on this. Like I said, it's pretty much the personal journals. Oh shit! There's Screaming Mad George there, and some of the behind the scenes stuff, the effects. But yeah, the journals of Norman England on the set while they were filming the commercial. Just a lot of photos. Like even if you're not a reader, like if you're not a big reader, this is a great book to pick up just for the photos alone. A lot of photos of George on set, behind the scenes, the making of the commercial, and the commercial you can actually find. It is available on YouTube. If you've never seen it. And it kind of gives you a little sneak peek and a little idea of what the Resident Evil movie would have been if George had gotten the opportunity to direct it. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool photos in here. And like I said, there's an interview with George. There's an interview with Brad Renfro, the actor, of course, probably most notably known for his role in The Client when he was young, like a young kid, which is what I knew him for because I grew up watching The Client all the time for some reason. But of course, passed away very, very young. There's an interview with him in here. Like I said, there's an interview with Pat Buba in here, which was George's editor for many, many years, who's unfortunately no longer with us. You get the storyboards in here as well for the commercial. It's got the original. See if I can find it here. I'll flash it to you guys. But it's got the original article in here as well that that Norman wrote for Fangoria, which is how Norman ended up on the set of this. He was there for Fangoria, kind of reporting, doing an article on the making of this commercial. So yeah, it's chock full of stuff from the video game, all kinds of stuff from Japan. Really, really cool. I've flipped through it. I haven't started reading it yet, actually, but definitely going to be starting this. Probably starting tomorrow. Actually, I'm gonna sit down and kind of start digging into it. But yeah, Norman's a great guy. Like I said, hopefully try to catch up with him. It's cool that if he's going to be at Living Dead weekend, I'm glad he'll be able to make it there. But I know he'll be in Indianapolis at that Days of the Dead next weekend, so I might try to make the trip up. Like I said, so it's a pretty short little trip, a 2 hour drive or so, just to go say hey. But yeah, if you're interested, definitely pick this up and check it out. Really cool thing to have. You can find it on Amazon. If you go to your Amazon, type in on the set of Resident Evil 2 by Norman England. You can find it on there, and I got it. It was on sale, so it's about a $40 asking price for this, but it's definitely worth it. Really cool stuff in here. So yeah, shout out Norman England. Everybody go pick this up. Go pick this up, and make sure you leave a review on the Amazon too if you pick it up after you've read it. help our boy Norman out. So yeah, I don't know, what do I want to talk about next? What do you guys want to hear? You guys want to shit on me? Larry, do you want to shit on me for another movie pick here? Ross Incognito, who's more creepy, Daddy from Under the People Under the Stairs or Buffalo Bill? Buffalo Bill, probably. It's hard to beat Buffalo Bill. Is she a great big fat person? Your body makes it all the time? Adrenochrome? Yeah. I mean, that's the idea. It's like, I don't know. Since really hung up on this adrenochrome thing. Steven, please try it with your furry friends. My furry friends. I'll have to call them over one of these nights for a adrenochrome party. Hooper's Eaten Alive is very charming, says John Goris. I've never liked that one. I've never liked Eaten Alive. There's a lot of Hooper stuff I'm not the biggest fan of. Eaten Alive never really did it for me, honestly. Hey, there's Michelle. Michelle Parsons in the house. What's going on, Michelle? Just popping in for a couple minutes. Work killed me tonight. Just got home, but probably won't be home for long. Yeah, I hate to hear that, but it's got the idea here. Make that money. You got to make that money. Everybody saying hi to Michelle. John says, didn't Brad Renfro come to a strange bad end? Yeah, like I said, died very young. I think he was 25 when he died. Had some personal problems, some drug problems. So I think one of the last things he did, I remember him seeing him in, was Ghost World. I remember him being in that. I think that may have been like one of the last things that he did before he passed. Yeah, Screaming Mad George effects legend. Yeah, one of those that, like I said, just kind of disappeared after about 2003. Yeah, you wonder why. Ross, is the new Evil Dead any good? Should I go see it? You should go see it. Just go see it. I can't speak on it. I don't know, but if you're interested in it, go see it. Go support. Go to the theater. Go support. It's whether you like the movies or not. It's pretty cool that horrors kind of have had this resurgence in the theaters, where $1 million horror film is kicking a Star Wars film's ass at the theater, at the box office. Like, whether you like the movie or not, it's pretty fucking cool, in my opinion. Scream Mad George worked on Nightmare on Elm Street 2, did the exploding parakeet. Yeah, I was thinking of the because he did the cockroach effect in 4. Wasn't it 4 where the girl turns into the fucking cockroach? I know he did that effect as well. Yeah, he did a bunch of stuff back in the day, all through the 80s, 90s. Pretty cool shit. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Cross-eyed Luigi. It is good that horror's doing good now. I agree with that. And like I said, whether you like the movies or you don't, it's kind of cool that horror's like the bankable thing in Hollywood right now. Kind of dig it. All right, let's talk about something that wasn't so bankable in Hollywood. Satan mentioned this a second ago, so we'll go ahead and we'll talk about it. People shit all over this movie. I'll do this one first. People shit all over this movie, but I actually like this movie quite a bit. People shit all over this director nowadays, all the time, any chance they get for some reason. But guys, Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is not that bad. It's actually pretty fucking good in my opinion. I struggle with this one because yeah, there are some aspects to this movie I don't like. I'm not the biggest fan of. But I just watched this again just to kind of refresh my brain and make sure that I wanted to go to bat and put my neck out for this one. And I really like it. I really like it. I saw it in the theater when it first came out, opening night. Saw it in the theater. Cross-eyed Luigi's here with the Rob Zombie talk. Saw it opening night in the theater, and I liked it then. There are a lot. I mean, I really dig a lot of what Rob Zombie did with this movie. For one, Rob Zombie hated working with the Weinsteins, didn't want to do this to begin with, but he said, fuck it, somebody's going to do it, might as well be me. Didn't want to do a sequel, but did it anyway. And he made a Rob Zombie movie under the guise of a Halloween movie. And people that want to say, oh, this movie's fucking awful, I just have to ask, like, have you ever seen any of the other fucking Halloween sequels? Have you seen Halloween 4? Have you seen Halloween 5? Have you seen Halloween 6? Have you seen Halloween 7? Have you seen Halloween 8? Where Busta Rhymes is fucking beating the shit out of Michael Myers? Have you seen the fucking... Most of the sequels are fucking horrible. So at least, like I said earlier, give me something different. Give me a new version of this story that I haven't seen before. And Rob Zombie does that more so with this version, this film, than the first Halloween remake. The first Halloween remake, I liked it when it came out. Always had problems with it, but I liked it. I find it hard to get through now. I like the first half of the film, but when it just goes into like just straight up like remake territory where Rob Zombie's literally just remaking the original, that's when it kind of falls apart for me. And I'm just like, and that's when I kind of turn it off. But this one is an interesting examination into what happens to these characters after a traumatizing experience. What happens when, all your friends have been killed by this monster? The trauma that Laurie Strode's character goes through, Scott Taylor Compton's character goes through in this film. The trauma, the after effects, even like the very beginning, the first 15 minutes of this movie are brilliant, in my opinion. And I don't care. I see fucking people talking in the chat here. I'll get to you in a second, but I'm gonna speak my piece on this because people shit all over this movie. The first 15 minutes of this movie in the dream sequence, spoiler alert, anybody want to watch a spoiler, the dream sequence in the hospital with the Knights in White Satin always playing on every TV monitor that she comes across. It's fucking like, love it. Love the use of music. I always love any like music that Rob Zombie uses in his movies because it immediately, like, okay, I now officially associate that song with that movie, whatever it is. But you got the Knights in White Satin thing, and then you got her in the hospital. And when she first gets to the hospital, the gruesome, realistic portrayal of a person showing up in the ER that has been through hell, and the way that she's stitched together, and just it's very graphic and very realistic. And Rob Zombie was going for a really graphic and realistic portrayal of everything in this movie in terms of like the psyche, like the psychiatric aspects of like going through a traumatizing experience like that with all these characters. Like, you know, the Danielle Harris character, she's dealing with, you know, with it in her way. You got which I think this movie belongs to Brad Dourif. Brad Dourif steals the show in this movie. His performance in this movie is so good. You like his character so much. Um, the scene when he discovers Annie, his daughter's body in the bathroom, the way that he breaks down and reacts to that is so painful to watch, especially now that I am a father. Like, so well acted, so well done. I love that the characters have nothing to do with any, you know, Dr. Loomis in this movie has nothing to do with Donald Pleasance's Dr. Loomis. And good. It doesn't need to be, you know, another version of fucking Donald Pleasance. It needs to be Michael McDowell being the fucking selfish, fame hungry, greedy asshole that he is, because that's the arc of his character. Laurie Strode's arc, like both, if you watch these movies back to back, every character has an arc. It has they have a story. They go from one point A to point B. They change completely from movie to movie, for good or worse. Um, I don't know. I like the way it's shot. It's vicious. The Michael Myers in this movie, Tyler Mane, Michael Myers in this movie is imposing and terrifying because he is like, when he kills people, it's not, there's no style to it whatsoever. It is gritty, it is raw, it is ugly to watch. It is not fun to watch these like the sequences in this movie. They're not fun. It's not a Friday the 13th where the kills are fun. You know, you're waiting for the kills and you get the special effects and it's fun. This is like him just like grabbing a motherfucker and just like angrily just like stabbing the shit out of somebody until they're dead. And it's effective because it's disturbing to watch. This is a Halloween movie that I wanted to see at the time. And look, watching it again earlier tonight, I was like, I'm here for it. I dig it. It has a grimy, gritty look to it. It's shot on 16 millimeter film. I love the Halloween party. It's one of my all-time favorite Halloween party scenes in any movie ever. It's my dream Halloween party if I were to ever go to one. Like, that's where I want to be. I want to go to where Captain Clegg is playing on stage and you know, half naked women are dancing everywhere and everybody's got these awesome costumes on. I don't know. There's so much about this movie I like. There's some shit I don't like about it, like the whole Sherry Moon zombie. Like, that could have been cut out. But this movie just gives me the vibe of Rob Zombie saying "fuck you" to everybody because people just shat all over him for the original Halloween. So I feel like he was just like, all right, fuck it, I'm doing what I want, and I'm gonna have every character say "fuck" a million times because why not? I'm putting my wife in it one way or the other. Oh, she's a ghost. All right, I'm putting my wife in it because everybody keeps bitching about that. This is a big fuck you from Rob Zombie, and I'm here for it. I appreciate it. And I think this is one that if people give it another chance and with an open mind, forget about what you know about Michael Myers and the Halloween series prior. Is this really any worse than Halloween 5? No. At least it's trying something different. It's coming at it with a different flavor, a different vibe. Whereas, like, you get to Halloween 4 and 5 and all those movies, and it just feels like fucking paint by the numbers, same old shit you've seen 100 times. At least Rob Zombie had the fucking balls to come at you with something different on this thing. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to bat for this one because I just watched it again tonight and I'm like, it got me pumped up. I was like, man, I like this movie. Everybody shits on this movie. I don't get it. But I don't know. It works. It works for me, but I know I'm in the minority here. So let me get to your comments. Let's see what you guys are saying. How many, let's see what's going on here. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is your least favorite of the entire franchise. I don't understand that. I don't get it. Like, it may not be your favorite and you may not even like it, but to say that it's worse than Resurrection or to say that it's worse than 5 or even 4, I can't stand 4. 4 is awful. At least this has some memorable characters and some memorable moments and just some fucking balls to it, man. Like, but hey, all right. I'll stand alone here. Cross-eyed Luigi's here for it. Where's the revival house guys when we need them? I need to get them on here so we can really get this sucker cooking. Satan says Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is my third favorite out of the franchise. Hell yeah, sir. I don't know where I would put it in the entire franchise of all of the Halloween movies, but it would be in the upper half, I would think. I would put it above the original Halloween remake that Rob Zombie did. So I don't know. I'd put it in the top half because it's different, man. It's something different, and there's, like I said, it's Michael Myers having some fucking balls again and just being scary again. You know, he's Rob Zombie not trying to redo what John Carpenter did all those years ago because he couldn't, and he knew he couldn't. And then Joseph Gordon-Green or David Gordon-Green or whatever the hell his name is tries to come years later in 2018 when the one that a lot of people seem to like. And to me, I was just like, oh, he's just trying to redo what John Carpenter did 40 years ago, and it just ain't working. Don't work for me, brother. I don't like that one. So it's taste, man. It's taste. You know, we all have our different tastes. Stezio, I will not have any Rob Zombie film on my shelves. Come on, man. Come on. Even if you don't like the movies, you have to respect the fact that he is a guy with a unique, his films have a unique look, a distinct flavor that is uniquely his. And you cannot say that about many filmmakers, especially these days. That's not to say that I like all of his movies. Not like Monsters didn't do it for me, obviously. I did 3 from Hell, maybe my least favorite thing that he ever did. But you got to at least give it to him that when you watch a movie, when you watch a Rob Zombie movie, if you don't know that's Rob Zombie, you can watch it and say, oh, this looks like a Rob Zombie movie. There's something about it that looks like a Rob Zombie. Even if you don't like it, he has his own unique style. And that's very rare these days. Even from the, you know, the better filmmakers out there. Satan is insane. Who would have thought? Stereo Stupid. What's going on, man? It's Rob Lucas. What's going on, brother? I actually love Texas Chainsaw 4 Next Generation with Matthew Renee. Hell yeah, man. I feel like I'm giving everybody a safe space to come out and finally admit these things tonight. I dig it. Satan says Halloween franchise sucks. Rob Zombie did something different. I tend to agree mostly with that statement. Like 4 or 5 awful movies. 6, I appreciate it because they tried to do something a little different with it. I really like H2O personally. Resurrections, no. So yeah. That's you know, I'm kind of with you on that. Steven says, I don't hate this film. I actually saw this in the theater with my grandmother. It's a nice grandson outing to the movies. It goes so far off the rails from my expectations, I believe that's some of my main issues with it. Yeah, the ending is a little confusing. The ending definitely deserves a Russo level in-depth explanation. Because if you ever watch a John Russo movie and you realize that none of it makes any fucking sense, but if you hear John Russo talk about it, he talks about it like it's really, really deep, and there's way more there than what needs to be. It needs one of those type of explanations, I think, at the end, but for the most part, I'm with you. John only does the original Halloween. Well, the original Halloween is like in my top 5 favorite horror movies ever, so I'm with you there. And yeah, most of the sequels are junk. Part 3 we talked about earlier, I really like. 2 is fine. 2 is a fine like follow up to the original. It's nowhere near as good, but it's fine. And yeah, I gave my thoughts on the rest of the original franchise. It says Zombies Halloween 2 was different, all right. I thought it would have made a better book than a film. That's very possible too. There's definitely a lot of themes in this movie that really could be fleshed out even more if he had the opportunity. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree with that. That bitch got herself a nice little dumper on her. Come on, we all William Forsythe here. Yeah, Moody Blues, man. Nights in white satin. Anytime I hear that now, I think back to the fucking the hospital sequence in this movie. Max, what's going on, man? Which cut do I prefer? I prefer the theatrical actually, as opposed to the unrated. Um, Especially, I think the thing that sells me is the use of the Carpenter music at the very very end of the movie. I like that a little better than the Mr. Sandman. I prefer the Carpenter um, music at the end as opposed to that. So, but yeah, I think the movie as a whole flows better and it works better for me. Just the theatrical cut as opposed to the director's cut. And I don't like the ending of the director's cut. Like I'm not the biggest fan of the ending of the theatrical cut either, but I like it more than the ending of the director's cut. I'll say that. Um, yeah, with you, Satan, with you on that one. Steven says the plot line with Malcolm McDowell becoming a fame whore was a worthy plot line. The rest of the film was really out there, even for me. I'm not a zombie hater. I love much of his previous work. Yeah, I mean it's pretty out there, but I do like where they took Loomis's character because that's kind of that would make sense. Like he's got a book to sell, so now he's a celebrity. You know, he's it's a different character than the Pleasance Dr. Loomis. You know, where Donald Pleasance is Dr. Loomis is almost as crazy as Michael Myers is. Where Dr. Loomis, he's an opportunist. He's like, oh, I see an opportunity to make some money. I like that. It's a different angle on the character. I'm here for it. Give me something different, man. I don't watch movies to be reminded of better shit. You know, that's why one of my biggest issues with remakes in general is that most remakes are just there to remind you about a better movie. You know, at least this one is just like it's taking known source material and characters that you're familiar with and showing them in a different life, giving them a different spin. Give me that all day. Give me that all day over, fan service or whatever. Brad Roberts, what's going on, Brad? Says I'm with you. I love this movie. I feel like I have to defend every Rob Zombie movie in general, though. I do too, man. Look, me and Todd over on the Revival House. Anytime we're on a live stream, there's always a point in the conversation that comes to me and Todd having to defend Rob Zombie against Aaron, and it's always a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm a Rob Zombie apologist. What can I say? I'm with you. Rick, the North Going Llama. What's going on, Rick? Thanks for having joined the chat. Thanks for being here, man. Good to see you as always. Phil the Dead says props for doing it differently. I just don't understand the choice in the H1 director's cut to change Danny Trejo into a piece of shit versus the original kill when he was sympathetic to Michael. Yeah, like I said, I have a lot of issues with the original. The first half of the original remake that Rob Zombie did, I really like. I like the idea, especially at the time when it came out. It was so different because growing up, we're so familiar with the Michael Myers mythology and the previous films that it's kind of weird when you're sitting in a theater and you're seeing little kid Michael Myers sitting in a mental institution with Dr. Loomis, and he's just being a little kid, and he's like, "When can I go home?" Like, and the thing that always got me in that movie, in that scene when he's sitting there and Loomis is trying to talk to him, and he's got the tape recorder, and Loomis says, "Go ahead, state your name, Michael," and he says, "My name is Michael Myers." It's just weird hearing a little kid say that because you're not used to that. The name Michael Myers holds a certain weight because of all the previous movies from the previous years. And then the first time you hear that in Rob Zombie's version, it took me back a little bit when I first saw it. I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. I was really digging it. And then it went to straight remake again, where it's just reminding me of a better movie. And that's when I kind of tune out, and I'm just like, and then she's like crawling in the ceiling and shit. But I have heard there is a work print version floating around online somewhere of what Rob Zombie originally wanted, because I think they went back and had to reshoot a bunch of shit to add on to that ending where she's crawling up in into the walls and shit that I never really got. But I think the original ending that I've heard worked, but I've never seen the work print version. Um, but yeah, that's out there. I'd like to check that out at some point of that original, but. Since has never got the Rob Zombie stuff, he's generally a horror Tarantino, grabbing ideas and scenes from better movies and directors and doing his collage work. Works for some folks, but I'm not one of them. Well, to each their own. To each their own. But you also got to remember, like when Rob Zombie was at his peak, we were at a time where the other horror films that were coming out in the theaters at the time with shit like Darkness Falls and all this neutered, fucking bland, same old shit you've seen 100 times. The PG-13 horror films, the remakes of all the Japanese ghost stories and shit. So at the time, I was like just not a fan of any of that shit. And then here comes Rob Zombie with these like throwbacks to these movies that I loved. Ken Foray is back on the big screen, baby. Michael Berryman's on the big screen. Like, hell yeah, I was all about it. All about it. I was just glad I didn't have to see fucking Sarah Jessica Parker or fucking Sarah Michelle Gellar or any of those fucking bitches on the screen being scared of a little Asian boy or whatever. I was so over those fucking movies by that point. All right, Larry, go ahead. What do we got? Look, I have nothing more to say. You like these movies, fine. All the Halloween movies suck after 3. Rob Zombie was saying fuck you to the Weinsteins without question with his Rob Zombie 2. Definitely feels like a big fuck you from Rob Zombie. Saying, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. Good luck. Because like I said, I think the story is he didn't even want to do Halloween 2. He always talked about he never wanted to do a sequel for it, but I think in order to get out of his contract that he had with the Weinsteins, he had to do Halloween 2. So it was definitely a fuck you movie from Rob, that's for sure. Since Zombie did the same with music, copying Ministry and My Life with The Thrill, Kill Cult, and others, their style of dress music. Well, to be fair, Rob Zombie, White Zombie was around in the 80s before Ministry became industrial Ministry. Ministry at the time, back in the 80s, they were more of like a, I guess they were still industrial, but it was more industrial pop. There's definitely some flair to it there, but White Zombie was around, like their early stuff dated all the way back to the mid 80s. So, but again, Rob Zombie, it's not about the music or about the dialogue in his movies or this or that. It's about the style and the feel that he creates. He's a visual artist first and foremost. His music videos, his album art, his artwork in general, his movies. It begins and ends with the visual aspect of it, the look of everything, the vibe that it gives off, the feel. It's all rooted in classic horror, and there's nothing else like Rob Zombie. There just isn't, whether you like it or not. There's nothing else like Rob Zombie. Going all the way back to White Zombie. So I'll defend him. I don't care. Michelle says got called back into work. Figured it wouldn't be long. Have a good night, everyone. Have a good night, Michelle. Good luck. Be safe out there. Got to get some rest at some point. Rick says Rob Zombie's Devil's Rejects was pretty gory with the actress Priscilla Barnes. You guys know I love the Devil's Rejects. I'll always defend Devil's Rejects. Steven says Devil's Rejects is still, in my opinion, his best film. I agree. There were several problems with 3 from Hell, but my biggest issue was he should have made the movie with Danny Trejo and DDP instead. I have way, way more problems with 3 from Hell than just that. So, yeah, I didn't care for that one at all for some reason. To me, it was just like you're resurrecting these characters that were obviously killed in the original just for the payday of going back to the well because you don't know what else to do. Not a good move, in my opinion. Stesio, last thought. 100% agree. Rob Zombie has a vision and a style, just not for me. And that's fair. That's fair. Mr. Robert, what's going on, Robert? Robert Harvitz, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Getting up early. Good night. Love everyone. See you, Stesio. Have a good night. Get some rest. Talk to you soon. My daughter loves Dragula. My daughter's a big fan of Living Dead Girl and Dragula. Those are on her playlist on the Spotify. Ed says, fun fact, Rob Zombie directed Ozzy Osbourne's Dreamer music video, which got Rob rolling as a director. Rob directed a lot of music videos. Rob directed most of the music videos that he did for his own music. And I think he directed most of the White Zombie stuff, too. So, yeah, he was directing music videos way before he got his first gig with House of a Thousand Corpses. in the late 90s. Larry says, I have the Halloween 2007 work print. It blew. I had it before the movie came out. It's the only version I watched and hated it. Fuck his Halloween movies. Hey, it's not for everybody. Not for everybody. I get it. I get it. Yeah. Rob Zombie, man, you say what you want about him, but he, he sparks debate and conversation, and that's good, which is far more than you can say for most filmmakers these days. So well, yeah, it takes all kinds, Robert. It takes all kinds. You like some questionable shit. Yeah. Early 2000s horror. There's a lot of bad. That just wasn't for me. This is true too, Jeff. White Zombie took a number of dialogue samples from Dawn for a couple of their songs. That's right. That's right. Most infamously is the song with the David Crawford, It Gets Up and Kills. The way that he incorporates that into that song is pretty badass. See you, Rick. Rick taken out? Yeah, Rick's out of here. Good to see you, Rick. Thanks for hopping in, man. There you go. See, we'll compromise on that, Robert. You did like Rob Zombie's Halloween movies too, so all right. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Since we're on the topic of Halloween movies and I'm on the topic of pissing people off, which I didn't even read, the Halloween 2 Tale from the Tape here. IMDb score 4.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomato score 25%. The Letterboxd score 2.3 out of 5. So yeah, everybody hates that movie. It's fine. It's fine. People hate this movie too. Maybe not as much. We'll see. IMDb score of 5 out of 10. So it hit the middle. Rotten Tomatoes score 40%, and a Letterboxd score of 2.2 out of 5. So people on Letterboxd really don't like this movie. But I've talked about this before, and I'll still defend it. It's in the same vein. It's in the same world. But Halloween Ends, man. I like Halloween Ends, and I don't care what anybody says. It's the best of the recent trilogy. It's the best of the most recent 3 films. To me, far and away. I saw when the 2018 Halloween came out. I didn't like it when I first saw it, but I wasn't sure. I was like, I mean, I get what they're trying to do here, but it just doesn't work. Again, it was David Gordon Green trying to go back. The first thing that really pissed me off, they tried to go back and just say, forget everything after the first one. We're starting fresh. But like everything about that movie made no sense if you were trying to pick up from the first one. Like, why is Laurie Strode so fucking crazy after like one night of just bad experience? I don't know. It didn't make any sense. I don't like the way that he turned Laurie Strode into a crazy fucking cat piss in a jar lady type. You know what I mean? So I didn't like 2018. I tried to watch it again a little bit after I watched it for the first time, and I turned it off halfway through, and I was just like, yeah, this just ain't it. Didn't bother with Halloween Kills. I was like, this looks awful. I didn't like the previous one. This ain't for me. I'm just skip it. So I didn't even bother with Halloween Kills. So then Halloween Ends comes out. And again, the promotional materials, the trailer just didn't look like my cup of tea. I was like, what? It's just going to be fan service. It's just going to be Laurie Strode having a fucking battle with Michael Myers for 90 minutes. And I'm just not interested in that. Not interested in badass Laurie Strode with a shotgun hunting down Michael Myers, and then a fight sequence ensues. And it's just like, no, thanks. But then the movie came out, and I started hearing people talk about how bad this movie was and how much they hated this movie and how dare this movie ever even get fucking released. And I was like, oh, that sparks my interest because Halloween Kills, there was some backlash to it, but people for the most part were just like, it's a fun little movie, and it's like typically for me, like if a movie comes out and it gets kind of a blasé reaction where people are just kind of like, yeah, it was good. No, like, it was okay. I'm like, yeah, I have no interest because it does nothing that sparks any kind of emotion in people. I'll pass. But when this thing came out, when Halloween Ends came out, people were fucking furious. People were like, "What is this bullshit? Why is this? Who thought this was a good idea? How dare they? How could they end the series on this shit?" So that piqued my interest, and I immediately sought this out. And I was, for one, in the back of my mind, I was like, "Okay, how bad can this thing be? Like, how bad can this be?" I was ready for a real shit-tastic time. But I turn it on and I'm watching it, and it's got the opening scene, which, spoiler alert for those of you that haven't seen it. Spoiler alert. It's got the opening sequence with Corey Cunningham babysitting the little kid, and he accidentally kills the little kid. And I was just like, whoa, that came out of fucking nowhere. All right, where's this going? Didn't expect that, because you expect the way that it's laid out, the way that it plays out, you expect like Michael Myers to show up and kill the babysitter, and because it's the babysitter, they're playing on the babysitter aspect of it, but it's a guy this time, and it's just like Corey Cunningham is like this non-threatening, like kind of cuckish kind of guy, like that's getting bullied by this little kid. The little kid's telling him to go fuck himself, and you're just like, oh, this dude's definitely getting it. But it takes that left turn at the very beginning of the movie, and that grabbed my attention. I was like, oh, what are they doing with this? Where's this going? What's happening here? And so the movie starts playing out, and it's absolutely nothing like I was expecting. It's more of the story about this kid. This accident happens, and he's forever labeled as this monster in the town of Haddonfield because he accidentally killed this little kid. So everybody in the town hates him. They look at him as, just this evil, like, how are you free? How dare you type of thing. And it's the story of this guy's slow descent into real madness when it's like if you tell somebody they're a monster long, it's like Martin, man. It's like John Amplis and Martin. It's like if you tell somebody long enough and over and over and over again that they're a monster and they're evil, then they'll start to believe it. They'll start to buy into it. Like, maybe I am a monster. If this town wants a monster, I'll be the fucking monster. And that's what this is. That's the story of this kid's turning into the next version of what Michael Myers was. And it's another movie that also answers a lot of questions that I've always had about the original, but in a very indirect and kind of interesting way. Like the idea of the mask. Like, why does Michael Myers always wear the mask? Well, Corey Cunningham kind of explains why he wears the mask in the movie, because it's the only way that he can maneuver, incognito, where nobody will recognize him, and he feels safe behind the mask. He's not, so it's like, oh, that kind of makes sense. I kind of like what they did there. There's a lot of interesting ideas in Halloween Ends. Now, some of the execution, there's certain aspects of the movie that I don't much care for, that I thought that, in my opinion, and I know this would have really pissed everybody the fuck off. In my opinion, they shouldn't even have had Michael Myers in this movie. Part of me, I don't know for sure, but part of me thinks that was the original plan. The original idea was, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I feel like the original idea was, we're going to make another Halloween movie, and just like the original Halloween 3, it's not going to have Michael Myers in it. It's going to be a completely different story. But I feel like they pushed out. Maybe the studio said, "Nah, we can't make a Halloween movie without Michael Myers. Like, people will, they'll set our studio on fire." So they had to kind of crowbar him in there. And they the way that they made Michael Myers in this movie, which makes sense. I mean, he's an old man at this point, so he is treated like an old broken fucking man. But if you had Michael Myers as kind of like, in the back of Corey Cunningham's mind, like kind of controlling him, almost like, this movie has a very like Christine vibe to me. Like, it feels very much like Christine, or something like that. I think if they would have just had the balls to not include Michael Myers in this movie and just made him this figment of Corey Cunningham's imagination, which is driving his madness, I think it would work for me a whole lot better than it actually does. So, in my opinion, this movie shouldn't even be about fucking Michael Myers. It shouldn't have Michael Myers in it, living in a sewer or whatever the fuck. It should just be the story of this Corey Cunningham character and his descent into becoming the new boogeyman of Haddonfield. I like that angle, but again, I get the vibe that the studio kind of stepped in and said we can't make another Halloween movie without Michael Myers. That's just not going to happen on our watch. But I like it. I like some of the music choices in this. The story, it works for me. I like the Corey Cunningham character, man. Another thing I don't like about it is that they, spoiler alert, they just fucking kill him off at the end like he's just a piece of shit. Like he's just there. Like the whole movie is about him. Like there's no reason to kill him off just so you can have this one last standoff between Laurie and Michael Myers where she puts him in a meat grinder at the end or some shit. And you're just like, it's not necessary. We didn't need that. It should have just been Corey's story. Corey's story. But yeah, those are my main gripes. But the movie overall, it's my favorite of the three recent, David Gordon Green movies because it had the balls to do something different, to step outside the box, tell a different story, but keep it in, the vein of the Halloween series. I don't know. I really like it, and I thought maybe I was crazy. I watched it again after I watched it originally. Because you watch it, you watch something that everybody tells you that it sucks. You watch it for the first time and it's not as bad as you think. Maybe you have a tendency to kind of think, it's better than it actually is. But I actually went back and watched it again, gave it another shot and watched it. I was like, no, I like this. This is well done. It's a well-made movie. I like the final sequence where Laurie's, baking up a storm or whatever the fuck she's doing. And it's got those final shots from the original where you would hear like Michael Myers breathing, and it's got this, the shot of the stairs and the shot of the house and stuff, but it's like brightly lit daytime. It's like we can move on now. Like it's over. It felt like real closure. But yeah, like I said, I have problems with it. There was definitely some stuff that I would do differently, but overall, this movie gets such a bad rap, and I think it's just from small-mindedness. Again, it suffers from the same problem that Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 suffers from. It's fans of the series that are so used to one thing that when you try to give them something different, it's like, how dare you? I don't want anything different. I just want fucking the same shit. Serve it to me again, please. And that's just not me. I mean, if that's what you want, if you like fan service, if you like just a rehash of something better, by all means. But me, when I watch a movie, I want to see something I've never seen before, and I want to see something from a different angle, especially if it's a story that I'm so very familiar with. And this movie does it. It has the balls to do it. And then I went back and actually watched Halloween Kills, and I don't hate that movie either. I don't love it. I don't think it's good, but Halloween Kills is one of those movies that's bad, but you kind of get the vibe that they know it's bad type of thing, if that makes any sense. But this one, I think that there's some real meat on the bone. There's something to think about there. I don't know. I just think it works. So, and I've talked about that before, but had to put that one on the list. So let's see. Robert, you can't crap on me. You think There's Always Vanilla is a good movie. Well, I don't know. You missed the conversation earlier, but apparently there's more going on with There's Always Vanilla than meets the eye in terms of conspiracy theories. So maybe you should watch it with that in mind if you want to go back and check that out. Jeff, I agree with that. Halloween Kills is my favorite out of the trilogy. Not Halloween Kills. Halloween Ends, sir. Halloween Ends. But again, I didn't hate Kills either. I thought it was kind of fun in a goofy way. And Laurie Strode's just laid up in the hospital the whole time. And I was like, I'm cool with that. Staying thought you were signing off. No, I'm still here. I still got a couple of movies to talk about, and I did want to touch on a couple of topics here. I'll briefly touch on these topics, but this is kind of running along, but it happens. Robert says, I think the new Halloween trilogy is fine. I don't get the hate for Ends. I agree. Satan says, never seen Halloween Ends. All right, Larry, what do you guys say? I watched the 2018 Halloween and hated every second. Yes. Good man. Hated the Rob Zombie ones. I swore to never watch another Halloween movie after that. I wasted too much time in my life on bad Halloween movies. You're probably not wrong for that stance, to be honest. But of these, I like this one. I like this one. Riverman, what's going on, Todd? Intermission at the drive-in. Toy Story 5 stinks. 2 out of 10. Okay, interesting. I thought about taking Everly to go see that, but I just feel like she'd get antsy halfway through, and I don't know. I've tried taking her to a movie before, and it didn't work out very well. So I'm a little skittish on trying it again, but yeah, it's interesting to hear that. Won't watch Kills or Ends ever. Give Ends a chance. Open minded. I think you'd hate it, but I still say give it a chance. Yeah, we love your passion, Larry, for sure. Yeah, Todd, you missed the Rob Zombie talk. I just covered my love and appreciation for Halloween 2 especially after watching it again tonight. I was like, yeah, I dig this movie. I fucking dig it. Yeah. Larry doesn't even like Hell of the Living Dead, guys. Come on. This guy's got very, very particular tastes. Very particular tastes. Yeah, Riverman at the drive-in. Catch replay. Have a great weekend, man. I'll be back on the Revival House channel. We're doing something different next Friday. It's a new mag. We're not doing Rue Morgue. We're doing a different mag. It's like I can't remember what the hell it's called off the top of my head, but it's from the late '80s, so it should be cool. We'll actually get to talk about some good movies this time. I'm excited about that. Movies are my life. Bad movies suck the life out of me. To me, there's a difference though between a bad movie that's just bad and not good, not entertaining, nothing redeemable, and a bad movie that's at least entertaining and fun and has moments that are just I just can't help but like Hell of the Living Dead is that type of movie for me. Like it's just so over the top stupid that I can't help it. Brad, are you trying to piss off Larry tonight? Yeah, that was the whole point of this stream. I was like, hopefully Larry tunes in because I'm really going to try to piss him off tonight. I think it's working. I think it's working. Phil says, I love bad movies from a forensic standpoint. As an artist, you never set out to fail. Better to fail with heart than on purpose. Otherwise, you're just Day of the Dead contagion. There you go. Very well said. Very well said. Evil dies tonight. Yeah, that was the goofy fucking aspect of the Halloween Kills. Yeah, there's one in it. There's one in every crowd. Steven says, Alpha, I don't know if you saw the 80s classic The Principal, but to quote that film, you're on your own. I gave this film a chance, and the only reason to have it is to complete your collection. Well, again, that's the point of the show tonight. I know I'm alone here, but I haven't been as alone as I was expecting on a lot of these, so I'm kind of surprised. Larry says, I'm not pissed at Mike. I can't stand bad movies. Bad movies piss me off when I have wasted my precious time on them. I agree. I agree with that. Like I said, I think my idea of a bad movie is like a movie that's bad that has no reason to be bad. Like a perfect example of that, and this will probably draw the ire of some folks, but To Live and Die in LA is one of those movies that's fucking bad to me that I was like mad because it had every reason to not be bad. But I just didn't like that movie at all. There was so much about that movie that just made me roll my fucking eyes that when it was over, I was just like, ugh. Those piss me off. But when it's a movie that's just bad but entertaining or has some goofy, redeemable quality to it, like, it is what it is. It's like when me and Synth, like when we watch those like Russo films or something like that. Like, yeah, they're fucking bad, but we got a kick out of them. That's what we say here in the South. I got a kick out of that. Definitely agree with Larry. Hate wasting my time and money on a bad film. This is true, Sen. Mystery Science Theater 3000 and Riff Tracks made a huge living off of bad movies. That's right. Some of those, though, are really fucking bad. Stereostube said, actually agree with you in theory. Halloween Ends has great ideas within, but the execution half flopped. I'll halfway agree with that. Like I said, I think if they would have had the balls to just, you know, stick to some of the more, I don't know, like I said, it didn't need Michael Myers at all. I think that's my biggest issue with it. Isn't Michael Myers is in the movie, and believe it or not. You don't like Mystery Science Theater? Wow, didn't know that, Larry. It says so. Michael should have been in the kid's mind, like Jason in A New Beginning. I dig that. Yeah, or like Halloween 2. I think they kind of touch on that in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, where by the end of the movie, Laurie is kind of batshit crazy now, and she's seeing the white horse and all that, and how much of that was always in her head. Like, was Michael Myers, like when Michael is eating the dog in the movie, and Laurie has to run and throw up, like they're almost like joined together spiritually at that point. Like, I'm down for something like that. Be a little more, experimental with it. I don't really need Michael Myers to be there. I've seen enough. I've seen enough of Michael. I think so. I think it was Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I think it was, because if you notice, the font of the credits is the exact font that they used in Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. So it definitely was. And like I said, there's a lot of Christine in that as well. So I think it was just playing on a lot of Carpenter's old stuff. The Tasteful Thickness, that may be my favorite name ever. The Tasteful Thickness. That was my name in high school. McGregor lost, bruh. In the stream. We mourn now. All right. Well, you heard the man. I'm out of here. See y'all. Never mind. I don't know. Are you talking about Conor McGregor? I didn't even know he was still fighting. But I hate that for you, man. I really do. Steven says, not to mention, I've seen better fan fiction than the end of this film. They all team up and kill him. Really, they should try this in Friday and the Nightmare films. I don't think it would work. Yeah, again, I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending of this film either. So that was an interesting. Yeah, the band kids bullying Corey. Like, how big of a loser are you when the band kids are bullying you? Nothing against band kids or anything. I mean, those were my people in high school, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, it can be, Larry. Riff Tracks and that shit is corny, lame. Get a real job, make a movie, but they can't. They should keep their dumb mouths shut. Well, that's kind of what me and Synth do when we watch those Russo films, or like Children of the Living Dead, or blood sucking fair. I'm not gonna say it. You know what I'm talking about. Synth, buy all fun stuff. Got to go earn some filthy lucre. Well, have a good night, man, and always be safe out there. Be safe. But got to go make that money. Satan's so tired of Halloween and Scream movies. This is why I like A24 movies. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I'm kind of burned out on all of those franchise movies, and I think a lot of people are. I think that's why a lot of those, movies like Backrooms and Obsession and shit are kind of getting people's attention more so than some of the franchise stuff now. There you go, Robert. I know you had good taste. I know you had some good taste in you somewhere. Riverman is his favorite character in Return 3. That's where Todd got his namesake from. Good call. Is Reanimator worth a watch? Absolutely, it's worth a watch. Yeah, people give me shit all the time because I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it is a good movie. It is a good horror film. I definitely recommend giving it a watch for sure. Just bought the DVD of One Missed Call. That's on you. That's on you, man. Steven says to live and die in LA is an acquired taste. It moves at a weird pace, but without Defoe. Yeah, Defoe is probably the highlight of that movie, but that's the only highlight of that movie because the whole movie plays out like everything about that movie is stupid. Every character in that movie is dumb. I just don't like that movie. I can't help it, guys. All right. So I got a couple more here. I'll hit these real quick. And then, yeah, we're about 2 hours and 45 minutes in. I'll hit these real quick and then I'll touch on a few other topics very briefly, just to give you guys a heads up of what's going on out there in the world of Night of the Living Dead. And then I'll get out of here and I'll let you guys get to bed. But I did want to mention, and like I said, I don't have quite as much to say about these two. And one of these I'm not even going to put on the list. It's just shit, but I'll go ahead and say it anyway. But this one, now you guys know I love sleazy, cheesy, Italian fucking horror movies. So let's talk about a little sleazy, cheesy Italian fucking horror movie here with an IMDb score. And these scores are actually a lot higher than I was expecting them to be. IMDb score of 4.9 out of 10, a Rotten Tomatoes score of 23%, and a Letterboxd score of 2.8 out of 5. From the master himself, Zombie 3. And yes, this is an old Blockbuster rental that I picked up for like $3 back in the day. This movie is not good. It's cheesy as fuck. It's corny as shit. It looks like a Fulci film that was made in the late 80s. Because for some reason, a lot of Fulci stuff from the late 80s, it looked like the lens was like smeared with Vaseline or something. It just looks cheap. And this is only partially Fulci. It is the masterful combination of Lucio Fulci, Bruno Mattei, and Claudio Fragasso that made this film. And boy, does it fucking look like it. Not a good zombie film at all. But there is something charming and redeemable, and I love watching it. It has that Italian cheese ball score to it, the bad acting, the over-the-top gore and effects and stuff. This one people shit on all the time, but I will go to bat for this one. I love this movie. It has a charm to it. It has, like I said, it has that sleazy, cheesy Italian charm to it that I just dig. And it's kind of the last of its kind, because this came out in '88, and it's supposed to be like a sequel to Zombie 2, but it has nothing to do with Zombie 2, and it has some real corny shit in it. But it is kind of like the last of a dying breed, because there were all those Italian zombie films that came out in the early '80s, like Nightmare City and stuff like that. And this is kind of the last. I mean, they made more of these after they did like Zombie 4 and After Death, and then there was Zombie 5, Killing Birds, but those weren't the same. This is like cheesy zombie, Hell of the Living Dead level fucking Italian horror right here. And it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I love to pop this in. I have a good time with it every time I watch it. I can't help it. And it's got a flying head, a flying zombie head flying out of a fridge, attacking people. You can't go wrong with Zombie 3. Yeah. It's Fulci, but and like I said, I don't have a lot to say about it. It's just a cheesy good time. It's like a good pizza. Cheesy good time. And the other one that I wanted to just touch on here briefly, I was going to put this on the list because I thought I liked it more than I did, but it had been a long time since I saw it. I saw it in the theaters when it came out, and I remember having a good time with it, and there was some memorable stuff about it. So I went back and watched it again last night. And while there are memorable things about it, and there are some things that I kind of dig about it, the movie in and of itself as a whole, the fact that people just shit on this movie to no end, it's warranted. IMDb score 5 out of 10, Rotten Tomatoes score of 17%, and a Letterboxd score of 2.1 out of 4. Shamalama Ding Dongs, The Happening. The butt of many joke when it comes to filmmaking and bad movies is The Happening. Now, like I said, I remember seeing this movie in the theater when it came out, and I liked it. I was like, oh, it's kind of an interesting concept. They made the air the villain, like it made you afraid of the air. Like that's the thing that's going to kill you is the air. And it's got some memorable moments in it. You know, I love the John Leguizamo in the Jeep when the Jeep fucking speeds up. Like it has like because basically, well, if you haven't seen The Happening, you're not missing anything. But it's basically, you know, Mother Nature turns its back on humanity and like releases this pheromone or whatever that when it hits a human, it makes them want to kill themselves. And so there's all these scenes in the movie of these people killing themselves, like jump, you know, just walking off of buildings or stabbing themselves or laying down under lawnmowers, and some of that is kind of cool. Like I kind of dig some of those ideas, you know. Or it also has Brian O'Halloran in this movie in a little cameo if you catch him. He's the one driving the Jeep that crashes into the tree and kills everybody. Um, it has a weird feel to it. It just feels weird. The acting, everybody in this movie, it has Mark Wahlberg, Zoe Deschanel, John Leguizamo. The acting in this movie is awful, and you don't like it, you feel like it's almost on purpose. It's like M. Night Shyamalan said, "Okay, we're act as bad as you can, like Mark Wahlberg, be as horrible of an actor as you could possibly be." That's what it feels like watching this movie. And while there's some, like I said, there's some moments in this that I get a kick out of, the movie in and of itself as a whole, I turned it off halfway through last night. I was like, all right, I've kind of seen what I need to see. This is not a good movie. Yeah, it's just not. But it was going to be on the list. But thank God I watched it again because I will not go to bat for this. I will not put my neck out for this. But I almost did until I gave it another shot. It's just a weird fucking. It's Mark Wahlberg's acting in it is so strange. Yeah, what are you doing? Oh, come over here. I'm a science teacher. Did you know about science? His whole performance is like one level of just like awkward. Um, Johnny Legs isn't very much better in this. Zoe Deschanel is always awful in anything she's ever fucking in. I can't stand her. She always has that goofy fucking look on her face. So just like, huh, I don't know. Do do do. I don't know. But The Happening, folks. It definitely belongs on everybody's list of like shitty movies. But again, there's like some weird charm to it. And again, I'm a sucker for like apocalyptic movies, like end of the world type of shit. So maybe that's why I get something out of it. But anyway, that's my complete list for what I had pulled to the side for tonight for movies that everybody hates, especially Larry. But I don't love them. I'm not saying that they're my favorites, but I don't hate them. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, where was I? Okay. I'm gonna give you guys a say here. Throw it at me. Where was I at? Stacy, do I like 976 Evil? See, that's one that I haven't seen in years because that was one I remember my parents always talking about. They were always skittish about letting me watch when I was a kid because they thought that it would be too scary for me for some reason. But I remember watching it and I was like, this isn't that scary. But yeah, I haven't seen it since I was a kid though, so I don't remember much about it. Satan saying 976 Evil's a fun watch. Robert, I also like Children of the Living Dead. It's a great bad movie. I'm not saying it's a great bad movie, but it's a movie that I am definitely interested in. I want to know more about it because the story of the making of that movie I feel like is far more interesting than the movie itself. Stacy, what are 3 movies you would have at a film festival you'd start? You know, I was thinking about this because I feel like these 3 movies would make for like a great triple feature because they all kind of have the same theme. And it would be 12 Angry Men, The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, and Day of the Dead. Because all 3 films are about 12 people do not trust each other, all at odds. There's something bigger going on outside of this one confined area, whether it's a courtroom or a deliberation room or an Arctic base or whatever, or the mines. They all had the same theme. It's 12 people locked in a confined space trying to decipher what to do and trying to handle everybody's differing opinions and thoughts. So I always thought that would be like a really interesting triple feature. Very different films. 12 Angry Men is not a horror film at all, but it's a great, great film. There was a remake that William Friedkin did of that movie in the mid 90s. That's not that bad either. Um, but the original is fantastic. Um, so yeah, I would do a triple feature of that. Actually, it'd be a weird triple feature, but the theme is there. But I like that question. That's a cool question. Haven't seen Happy Birthday to Me. Never seen that one. Not a big slasher guy, so there are quite a few slashers that I never ventured out to actually see. Reanimator's the bomb. Actually, love Reanimator 3, the one in the prison. It's effing hilarious, dude. I've actually never seen any of the sequels to Reanimator, but I have seen Reanimator. And yeah, I like Reanimator, which Reanimator is the theme for this year's Living Dead weekend. So if you're a big Reanimator fan, now's your chance. They just announced that Jeffrey Combs will be there, Barbara Crampton, and who was the one that Bruce Abbott, I think, was the one that they just announced. So big Reanimator reunion at Living Dead weekend in October. So all this Reanimator talk tonight, I'll go ahead and throw a plug for Living Dead weekend in there. So, all right, Satan says, I've never seen Zombie 3, but I really want to. I think that DVD goes for good money. Does it really? I don't know if this version does, because like I said, it's an old Blockbuster rental that I just grabbed. I know that, who was it? Severin? I think Severin put this out on Blu-ray. And I think it's out of print now. It's kind of hard to find. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a fun, if you like cheesy Italian zombie films, it's definitely up your alley. Ed says the Three Amigos Zombie 3. Yeah, the Three Amigos. I like that. Didn't know it got a bad rap. Yeah, I mean, I read the scores. But like I said, I was kind of surprised that it scored higher than a lot of what I've talked about tonight, actually. So I was kind of surprised by that. But yeah, people have always kind of talked about that as like a really bad zombie film. So yeah, the transfer of Zombie 3 is terrible. That's just the way it looks. Like I said, there was just a period there at the late 80s where a lot of Fulci's stuff just had that look of just like where it looked like just really foggy or just weird. So it definitely has that look to it. I don't get it. The Zombie 3 is not out of print. Well, I know the Severin one that they did. I think that one might be kind of hard to find. But I can't say for sure. Did they do that in a 4K? I can't remember if it was just a Blu-ray or a 4K. God help them if they did Zombie 3 in a 4K, like a full 4K restoration for that thing. Steven says there's a movie in there somewhere, but sadly no one was capable of actually saving it. I agree with the charm factor of this movie, but it only goes so far. It's great for historical purposes only. Are we talking about The Happening here or Zombie 3? The Happening, I can kind of see it. Because The Happening does have a very like post 9/11 feel to it as well. It definitely plays on some of that, what was going on at the time. Oh, okay, all right. Robert loves The Happening too, always has. Bonnie loves The Happening. All right, maybe I'm alone here. But hey, like I said, I read those scores. It's pretty much universally panned, but I get it. I dig it. Satan, what the fuck? The Happening is one big piece of shit. There we go. That was the response I was expecting. Steven says, I believe that's when M. Night hit the wall and never fully recovered. The myth died after this film. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what came after that, but yeah, he kind of started to peter out around this time. Yeah. No, The Happening, not What's Happening, Jeff. Not What's Happening, The Happening. All right, Larry. Next thing you're gonna say is that you love M. Night Shyamalan's Glass. Wow, what a fuck up that was to end the trilogy that started with Unbreakable and Split. Never seen it. Never seen it. I'm not a big Shyamalan guy, so that was just one that I remember seeing in the theater and was kind of like, I kind of got a kick out of it at the time. But again, like I said, I tried rewatching it. I was just like, maybe not, maybe not. Fat Pig the Conqueror. I finally watched Dracula 3D like 2 years ago. It was pretty bad, but not as bad as I thought it would be. I hated the washed out look more than the CGI. I don't think I've ever. That's one Argento film I've never watched. That one and Phantom of the Opera was another one that I've always heard really bad things about, but I've never actually. I tried watching that. I got about 30 minutes in, and I was just like, I don't think this is for me. But a lot of Argento's later stuff that a lot of people hate on, I'm kind of a fan of, like The Card Player, Mother of Tears, even Giallo. People shit all over that movie Giallo because it's kind of infamous because I think Adrian Brody, like I think he sued the company or like the studio trying to get them to not release it or something like that. I could be wrong about that, but I know that there was some big thing where they were trying to keep that movie from being released. But I remember when I finally watched it, I was like, it's not that bad. You know, it's fine. It's not early Argento. None of those are early Argento, but you know, Argento is Argento. You know, you kind of know what you're in for when you walk into it. You know, or I was saying, yes, The Happening was M. Night's downfall, and he never quite came back from this. His newest movie sucked too. Sad because Josh is a great actor. See, that was one that kind of looked interesting to me when I saw the trailer for it, but I never watched it. And again, I haven't heard much good about it. But Larry, you're such a heel, Mike. This is a work. No way you like these movies. I figured it all out. I do. I like them. Like I said, not The Happening so much, but the rest, yeah. I have a place for them. I have a place for them. Yeah. I'm glad I can entertain you guys with my bullshit. But it wouldn't be nearly as fun without you all. So always love chopping it up with everybody in the chat. And yeah, I love doing these type of streams, so it gives you guys a chance to tell me I'm crazy or I don't know what, but these are always kind of fun to do. Just poking the bear, trying to get some heat. I don't know. Definitely check out 12 Angry Men, guys. The original. It's a good question too, Evan. Any remakes you like better than the original? It's a good question. I mean, obviously, like Carpenter's The Thing, probably Cronenberg's The Fly, like some of those from the 80s. But that's just more my time period, I guess, than the originals. But I'm trying to think of any like modern remakes that I like better than the original. I don't like it better than the original, but I think the remake of Maniac is a really good remake that really stays true to the spirit of the original while doing something a little different. And but I like I said, I don't like it better than the original, but I do like the Maniac remake. I saw that that's coming out on 4K from was it Synapse, Second Sight, one of those companies, Arrow, maybe Arrow actually. But remakes that I like better than the original, I'd have to think about that. That's a good question. I'm sure there's one that I could probably come up with if I thought about it. If you gave me a list, I could probably find a couple. But yeah, like I said, the problem with most remakes is that they're just showing you something that you've already seen, but you've already seen it when it was original, and in my opinion, better. So yeah, I don't know. You got me thinking. That's a good one. But yeah, 12 Angry Men too. Everybody check that out. It's a classic. Really, really good film. All three Reanimators are amazing, says Evan Myers. Like I said, I've only seen the original, so. See, Satan, I hear people say this a lot. The Hills Have Eyes remake's better than the OG. I don't agree with that. I can't agree with that. I don't think the remake is bad or anything, but man, the OG Hills Have Eyes. Come on, man. Michael Berryman, Wes Craven. Come on. How could you go wrong? Love the OG Hills Have Eyes. Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay, talking about Zombie 3. A good idea in there. I don't know. I don't know if there's a good idea in there, but it's a fun movie. It's a fun, shitty Italian horror movie. What can you say? That's interesting. Adrian Brody owns a castle in the town next over from me. That's kind of cool. Didn't know that. I didn't know that he owned a castle. Jeez. Satan says I Spit on Your Grave remake is better than the OG. I haven't seen the remake. The OG is one that I respect because I just like those style of movies. Not the content wise, but 70s low budget, revenge, grindhouse, gritty, real, type of movies. But I haven't seen the remake, so I can't speak on it. I love you guys too. You know that. Robertson actually like Mother of Tears and Ozzy's breasts. Italians are strange. Dario has no problem filming his daughter naked. Yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. A little weird. King Kong remake? No, I wouldn't say. No, I wouldn't put that above the original. It's been a long time since I've watched the original, but I don't remember loving the remake in '76 either, or the Peter Jackson remake. That one just had too much. It's too long. It's too much going on. It's too much shitty CGI in that movie for me. But yeah, I couldn't go there. Robert, no. I allow you your opinion because you are the Night 90 guy. So that is your opinion, but no, I can't say Night 90 is better than the OG at all. Which, speaking of, we'll all in tonight. I did want to share with you guys some news, a couple of pieces of news, and then we'll get out of here. It's over 3 hours. I'm gonna let you guys go. I was gonna see. I don't know, maybe not. But okay, so some news here, some real quick news regarding Night of the Living Dead that I did want to mention because this is pretty cool and it's coming up. So if you're in the area, if you're on the West Coast, this is pretty cool. It's pretty big news for Image 10 and this book, the official story of the film. Let me share this real quick just to bring you guys up to speed on everything. Because like I said, I wanted to bring this up last week and I didn't get a chance to. But this is pretty fucking cool. There we go. I'll make it big so you guys can see it here. But yeah, so Comic-Con International in San Diego, July 23rd to the 26th, will be the official debut of The Night of the Living Dead, the official story of the film, the definitive behind-the-scenes look at the making of George A. Romero's horror classic. And Judith O'Dea will be appearing at the show Thursday and Friday to autograph copies, which will include a limited edition enamel pin. This is from Titan Books. This is big. This is big for Image 10 in this book, man. Comic-Con is a big deal, and they'll be there to officially debut this book. And like I said, I've seen bits and pieces of this book already. It's amazing. This is going to be the definitive book on Night of the Living Dead. What Lee Carr did with Day of the Dead on his Making of Day of the Dead book, this is going to be, I believe, the version that you will want to get if you've ever wanted to know anything about Night of the Living Dead. It's going to be in this book. We'll go to the Comic-Con site, see if they say anything else about it. Sure, give me some cookies. But Comic-Con, man, that's a big deal. This is a big fucking show. Nothing that I would be interested in personally, but the fact that Night of the Living Dead's going to be there, Image 10's going to be there, and they're officially debuting this book. It's such a big show, and I'm really happy that Judith O'Dea is going to be there as well to experience all of this. That's really, really cool. I don't see anything on it here. It's just taking us to the Comic-Con website. But yeah, this is pretty big news, pretty cool. I think the book, I believe, is it up? Is it up for pre-sale now? You can go to this is Image 10. You can go and get officially licensed Image 10 stuff here. But yeah, I believe the book is up for pre-order now. If you're interested, I definitely recommend checking it out. I think it's going to be something really special. A lot of never before seen stuff in this book, and I know they work their asses off on this thing. So So yeah, this is pretty big news. July 23rd to the 26th, Comic-Con International in San Diego. So if you're on the West Coast, if you're in the area, if you plan on going to Comic-Con, definitely check this out. Stop by, say hi to Judy, and get her to sign your book. Be pretty freaking sweet. And like I said, there's also other book news that I wanted to touch on too here real quick, and then we'll get out of here. But Death Cult Press is doing a reissue of Night of the Living tapes, available for pre-order now. New cover artwork by Rick Catazone, animator for Night of the Living Dead, Creepshow, Evil Dead 2, and more. Everybody knows Rick. 305 pages, full color, hardcover. 10 additional chapters covering the entire distribution history of the film. 11 new appendices covering a range of topics related to Night of the Living Dead and physical media. Updated physical media checklist for all major formats, cataloging nearly 650 variant releases from 26 countries, officially licensed by Image 10, the original producers of Night of the Living Dead. So this book, Night of the Living Tapes, is basically, it covers every release of Night, because not everybody knows the history of Night of the Living Dead and the copyright issue and the fact that it was in the public domain gave especially back in the day, when VHS companies were, every VHS company, any company that made or distributed VHS at any point, put out Night of the Living Dead at some point or another, because it's a marketable name and it's public domain, so it's out there. I come across still to this day, and I still feel like I see versions of Night of the Living Dead on VHS I've never seen before on eBay. So this book covers every release ever. They've added to it. I know our buddy Vulo has contributed some stuff to this book as well. This is a really, really freaking cool book. Pre-orders up now, $50. But it also comes, it's an expanded edition. It also comes with some extra tchotchkes over here. Buttons, stickers. Let me see what it says. What all it comes with. Yeah, pre-order package includes hardcover book, signed book plate, VHS bookmark, VHS sticker, exclusive trading card, and the Death Cult Press button. First 75 orders placed will all receive a free cemetery entrance enamel pin as well. So yeah, this is definitely something I definitely want to get my hands on as well. I haven't done a pre-order. I'm not a pre-order guy. I just hear too many horror stories of people doing a pre-order and then never getting their shit. Not to say that these guys are sketchy or that would happen with these guys at all, but yeah, I'm just more of a guy. It's like, once you have it, like, give it to me. I'll give you money for it. But this is really cool. I'm really glad that they've expanded on this and are re-releasing this again. So definitely check this out, deathcultpress.com, and check out Night of the Living Tapes, the official home video. And this is perfect for any collector, physical media collector out there that's looking to get their hands on every. If you can try, like, that would be the fucking, that would be the challenge, is to try to collect every version of Night of the Living Dead that's ever been released. Good fucking luck. But to start, if that is your goal, this is a good place to start getting this book. So yeah, a lot of books available. Like I mentioned earlier, we got Norman England's new book on the set of Resident Evil 2, available now on Amazon. The Night of the Living Dead official story of the film coming out soon, making its debut here in a couple of weeks at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. And then, of course, this Night of the Living Tapes book from Jeff Turner. Really, really cool stuff. It's just really exciting, in my opinion, that still, all these years later, we're still getting all this cool Romero stuff, and finding new information and new stuff about these films that we love. It's just exciting, and I love the fact that people are still interested. People are still digging to find this stuff out and put out these books and documentaries, and there's new movies in the works. So yeah, just really, really cool stuff. So definitely check out all of that. And yeah, let me know what you guys think when you get it. So let's see. Let me hit the comments real quick, and then we'll get the fuck out of here. Um, before my voice completely gives out here. 990 is the GOAT. I hear that a lot these days. It's one. It's definitely one that its popularity has grown over time. That's for sure. All right, Larry says, "Okay, you can end this. Get out of here. Good night." All right. Larry's giving me permission. Now that I got everything taken care of, we've covered everything I wanted to cover. Yeah. Well, this is probably where we'll end it. Larry said, "I need somebody to pick that up for me with the pen and get it signed. Just make a quick trip out to San Diego, Larry. Shit, come on, man, you can do it. Just a quick drive. You can make it." Robert, there you go. Pre-ordered the book, $50 on Amazon. Sweet, very cool. Yeah, the night book is that's going to be something special for sure. Well, I'll talk about Adrian Brody's Castle. I'm seeing here. Can't wait for Twilight of the Dead and Return of the Living Dead. These two new ones. Yeah, Twilight. That seems to be happening. Like I mentioned, Nicotero let the cat out of the bag at Living Dead weekend that he's going to be working on the effects for the film too. So that gives me a lot of hope that this isn't going to be shit. I guess is the best way to say it. I don't know. But yeah, I'll be there for it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it for sure. It says just watch a week after the book. There will be more VHS releases that come to light. Yeah, that will probably happen. Like I said, I still to this day will be just looking on eBay and I'll come across a version of Night of the Living Dead on VHS I've never heard of, never seen. So it's not unlikely. All right, guys, let's get the fuck out of here. Night, been fun. Night, Ed. Have a good night, my man. Fat Pig the Conqueror. Good to see you, my man. Down is up. Have a great weekend. Best for you and the family. Everyone enjoy your weekend. You too, my man. And hope you're feeling better. Hope you're feeling better. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Appreciate everybody. This has been a fun one tonight. I'll be back next weekend. If I go to that, if I end up going to that Days of the Dead in Indianapolis, it'll be on that Saturday. So I don't think I will be doing a stream on Saturday night, but I will definitely be doing one on Sunday if I do. And I will tell you guys all about it, and we'll share some stories. But yeah, everybody make sure thumbs up, hit that like button, and subscribe if you're watching for the first time. And if you're interested, support the channel, become a member. I've had a lot of new members join tonight, so stay tuned. Going to be doing some fun shit for the members, whether you're a cellar dweller or you're hanging out with if you like to live dangerously at the Ritz. But appreciate everybody as always. I'll catch you guys on the next one. But until next time, everybody stay safe, stay prepared, but always stay scared.
We must not be lulled by the concept that these are our family members or our friends. They are not. They will not respond to such emotions.
What the hell are they?
They're us, that's all. There's no more room in hell.
They must be destroyed on sight.